communication out there. I think Day and Christian probably took it personal that I said this is the best point guard we're playing this year. And he was the number one key, and they did a fantastic job on him, and Double Zero, who was the other key. But yeah, really to hold him to 1 for 12 from the field was a spectacular defensive performance. They got an A+ there.
Similar story today. They have a ball-dominant guard in Jalen Cox, who is really lighting it up of late. The big key, I assume, is to try and do the same to him that you did to Amir Lindsey last night?
Yeah, I think so. I think that we get to utilize a lot of the same principles and the same scout on Cox. I actually think Cox is better. It was a debate that the coaches were having over the last 3 days. Who's the better point guard? I think Cox is, man, he's really special. He's shooting 50, 40, 88% from the free throw line. The guy averages 17 and 5. He does it all, and he's also their best defender with 16 steals. So very similar to Lindsey, but just a little bigger, a little more polished in my opinion. So we will have our hands full tonight, but we'll be able to use some of those same principles from Albany.
And if you get the win, it would be the first time Fordham's won a multi-team event since 1987. What would that mean for this group as they continue to try and gel heading towards conference play?
It would be big. You know, I think just having this opportunity to play in a championship type game and just against a very, very good program in New York, it'd mean a lot, you know, and so I think our guys are excited. I could see it. We have another really good walkthrough right now in the hotel, and the guys are wired and alive. So it's just going to be, we'll roll the ball out, see what they got, and should be a fun one.
Coach, thanks so much.
We'll take you right to play here in Montreal. Fordham scoreless on their first offensive drive, and now Colgate working offensively. Cox kicking out to the left corner. Alexi Enko in the right wing to right, no good on his three from the right wing, and Fordham controls. It'll be Henry on the left wing. Guarded by IRA. Christian Henry, touch pass inside. Kira Jacobs backing up defender. Float shot, no good. Rika Schulte on the second chance. He's blocked. Sam right on the block. Colgate now moving offensively. Tweedy, top of the arc, trying to get it to Cox. Gets it to right. Dribble handoff to Cox. Cox, top of the arc. Pass on the right wing. IRA, guarded by Christian Henry, going right around the screen. Now double teamed by Schulte and Henry. As we're going out of bounds, it'll stay on this side with the Raiders.
This is what we saw all yesterday, Chris. Fordham trapping in the corners on both sides of the floor and finding ways to get deflections. Even if they don't get turnovers, they're making life uncomfortable for their opponents. We see that here.
IRA gets it into Tweedy. Tweedy has it top of the arc, guarded by Harvard transfer Louis Lesmond. Now on the right wing. To Lecasino, top of the key, that three, no good off back iron from right, and Fordham controls it once again. Both offenses struggling early.
But solid looks from both teams, just not connecting.
Max Miller, Aiden Crotty bringing the energy on the Fordham bench early. Louis Lesmond in the left wing, backing in inside, trying to kick it back out, he does. Christian Henry has it on the script Long Island Net logo. Looks so beautiful, as ever. Henry going left around a Schulte screen. Pass to Day Reeves, left wing, quick fire on the three, no good off the right side of the rim. Rebound brought down.
Another solid look, but no paint touch on that possession. You got to get it inside and then work out.
IRA brings it across half court for Colgate. Straight on three from Alekasino is good. Alekasienko gets that one to go. The freshman standout has been so good for the Raiders this year.
He has two-time reigning Patriot League Player of the Week for Alexienko.
Alexienko, fantastic first bucket of the game so far. 3-0 Colgate lead. Christian Henry working inside, spinning at the right block, doesn't get the shot to go, and Colgate's there on the defensive glass. Both teams doing a good job on the defensive glass so far.
Another good look for Fordham, just better defense on the interior from a pretty big Colgate team.
Once again, it's Alekasienko. Alekasienko, dribble handoff to right, on the right block. Now alternating to the left block. Loose ball picked up by Akira Jacobs. Nice presence of mind there from Jacobs. Henry has it the other way to Jacobs. Skip pass to Lesmond is poked away. It'll stay on this side with the Rams.
Just an example of the kind of disjointedness that we saw in the second half against Franklin Pierce, where you force a live ball turnover, and instead of being able to push the pace and get a great look inside, there's a little indecision from Chris Henry. Not everyone's sprinting the floor. He doesn't have anyone to go to. and deflection out of bounds. This is the best case scenario for Colgate off of a turnover.
First 3 minutes of this one, Fordham 0 for 5 from the field so far. Day Reeves slicing through the lane and finishing at the rim. Nifty work there from Day Reeves getting the offense going.
If there's one thing he struggled at, it's his finishing at the rim. He's not been efficient. He also hasn't gotten to the line a lot, so I like to see him being aggressive on the interior early.
Olekasienko on the left wing, pass on the right wing. IRA stopping at the free throw line, takes the jumper after the push-off, no good on the shot. Good defense there from Christian Henry.
It's a big assignment for Chris Henry against a guy who just set his career high yesterday and is inserted into the starting lineup today.
Henry on the left wing to Reeves, back to Henry, right wing, he'll take a three. It's good! Catch and fire for the Eastern Michigan transfer goes, and after 29 points last night, Christian Henry back in form.
You love to see it from beyond the arc, too, because he did everything on the inside yesterday, and I think that's where he really thrives. But to get it going from the perimeter, a whole nother dynamic to his game.
Fordham scores there on the other end. Olekasienko finishing amongst the trees under the basket. The freshman continuing to impress in the early stages of this one. It's a 5-5 tie so far. The first 4 minutes or so of this one in Montreal. Henry, top of the key to Akira Jacobs, fires it inside to Schulte. Schulte tried to get the shot to go, ends up fading away, doesn't get it to go, and Cox running the other way. Go through the left side of the lane, kick out. Left wing, Tweedy is good from three. Ben Tweedy, the only transfer on this roster from Green Bay, gets the triple to go.
And the guy who only shot 17% so far this season from beyond the arc.
8-5 Colgate. Lesmond has it, right corner to Henry, right wing. Henry directing his offense off the ball. Going around a screen right from Schulte. Cross-court pass to Jacobs. Jacobs pump fakes on the perimeter, drives inside. Tries the layup with the left hand, doesn't get it to go. Great play there from Jacobs, just couldn't quite get the finish. And now coming quickly the other way, Tweedy kicks it out, right kicks it out. Olekasienko has it on the right wing, will take a three. It's good! Andrew Olekasienko once again hits that one right on Akira Jacobs, and he has this Colgate team out to a 6-point lead, 11-5, 15-39 in this first half.
Well, he had 15 points in 16 minutes yesterday. He's already got 8 now in the first 5 minutes of this one.
And Day Reeves loses the ball on the right wing. There's bodies everywhere. Ends up passing it to Rikus Schulte, saving the possession for the Rams. Reeves going right around the screen on that right wing. Trying to drive inside, kicks it out to Henry. Henry has it in the right corner, wanted a foul, didn't get it, and Colgate has it the other way. Dribble handoff to Tweedy, right wing. Tweedy cross-court pass to Cox. Cox will slow it down slightly. Right to left crossover, left to right crossover. Mid-range jumper, no good from the left elbow. A fight on the glass. Olekasienko ends up getting tied up with Christian Henry. It's a jump ball, and it'll stay on this side with Colgate. A real fight from this Colgate team early.
Colgate is winning in all the effort columns, the things you won't see on the stat sheet. They've been the first on the floor. They've been getting more deflections than Fordham. They've been slowing this Fordham offense down. It's a pretty slow Fordham offense, but when they get turnovers, they like to push it, and that's when they're most efficient. They haven't been able to do that so far. Colgate is controlling this game the way you'd expect for a team that's won 5 Patriot League titles in its last 7 years. A really well-coached group by Matt Langle. They're showing that in the first 4 minutes and change here.
Yeah, Matt Langle has garnered a ton of respect around the country. 5 Patriot League Coaching of the Year awards. The first ever coach to do that 5 times. In his 15th year as head coach at Colgate, 5 Patriot League titles in the last 7 years. And you said, Joe, earlier today, after their 35-point win last night, their coach still wasn't satisfied at all.
No doubt. It was kind of funny. After the game, he was asked for comment, and you expect him to say, well, 35-point win. Yes, it's against a D3 team, but a feel-good win gives you some more energy, some vibrance going into Sunday after a really tight one on Friday. You think the vibes will be high. He said, no, I'm not happy at all. In order to find a way to get the result that we want, this is a quote, against Fordham, we'll have to play well and be more consistent for 40 minutes on both ends of the floor. Particularly was harping on the defensive effort in an 85-50 win, Chris.
Yeah, and on the other side, I heard Coach Magpio in your interview with him earlier today bring up championship mindset, championship mentality heading into this one. He's been talking about it for the last couple days, talking about how this tournament's a real simulation for conference championship play, 3 games in 3 days, neutral site, and Coach Magpio is taking this final day, the Sunday game, as almost a simulation for what an A-10 championship would look like.
Yeah, so for the Northern Classic, there's not technically a title game, but if there ever was one, this would be it. Both of these teams undefeated thus far. They won on Friday and Saturday. Now they meet on Sunday in the finale. finale. It's the last game of the tournament played by any team, so it feels like a tournament final, even though there's no trophy or MVP or all-tournament team to be named. That's the kind of stakes that are here for this Fordham team. They want to play under the simulation of the added pressure, even if this game is just another non-conference game.
Yeah, the only 2 teams out of the 5 here in Montreal not to take a loss. And something's got to give, Joe. One of these teams will have a loss by the end of this afternoon. Colgate really coming out quickly. It's all been led by their freshman, Olekasienko. He's been fantastic on the offensive end, and even on the defensive end from the glass. Seems like he's doing it everywhere.
It's hard to believe this kid is a first year. He was a 2-time all-NEPSAC pick in high school out of Brookline, Mass., and his game is translated seamlessly to the D1 level.
Shout out Massachusetts, Joe.
Shout out.
Now Cox has it, starting for Colgate offensively, and tried to put up a lob pass, ends up hitting the rim, was almost in the rim, almost got a basket for that lob pass. Nonetheless, Fordham has it going the other way. Day Reeves, skip pass to Green in the corner. Marcus gets cut off on the baseline, back out to Schulte. Christian Henry now has it on the left wing, driving inside, stops and shoots, no good from the mid-range, and Olekasienko on the rebound.
A decent look, but he was in between that spot where, do I go for the glass, do I try and swish it? He opted for the latter, didn't go.
Cox, swing pass, top of the key, Olekasienko, skip pass, no good from Cummings on the left wing from 3. A second chance for the Colgate offense. Skip pass, skip shot inside, no good on the floater. It'll go the other way toward Fordham. Fordham Rams have to limit how many chances they're giving offensively to this Raider team.
Specifically against a Colgate team that really, with intentionality, does not offensive rebound. They are getting offensive rebounds on only 21% of the shots they take. That's the 11th worst mark in the nation. Fordham is 16 percentage points higher. They need to dominate in that column.
It's now Abbas Bodija working out of the left post, and there's a foul on the floor. It'll be an inbound from the Rams.
Bodija, a guy who kind of struggled last night against UAlbany, really the only guy who had a poor game besides Louis Lesmond, but hoping to get him going early, especially for a team that has struggled on the interior in the first 6 minutes of play. Get him some good looks in the post, get him going.
Some substitutions for Colgate. Brady Cummings coming into the game. He started most of this season, a bit of a switch in that starting lineup. IRA gets the start, and Cummings comes on off the bench. Also, Kyle Carlissimo subbing into this one as well. Son of, I would say, best Nets interim head coach of all time, PJ Carlissimo. Coaching legend in the basketball space. Green, mid-range jumper, no good for Marcus Green. Carlissimo on the rebound.
And 26 seconds there, no paint touches.
Carlissimo going to take it himself into the front court. Cox now has it top of the arc, swinging it to the left wing. It's Wright, Cooper Wright. Plays it up top of the arc. Odette Oyimbo gets it inside off the touch pass from Cox. Does a few pump fakes, ends up getting fouled under the basket. It'll be on the floor once again. I believe that one going to go on Abbas Bodija, and that'll be on the floor for an inbound once again.
Yeah, Reeves picked him off smoothly, came in on the help defense off of the offensive board. By the way, another O board for a Colgate team that, again, just doesn't crash the glass at all. But Bodija showing that he's a freshman, jumping up a little undisciplined there, draws the foul.
Yeah, Bodija, redshirt freshman, spent a year last year at UC Riverside with Coach Magpayo. Ended up redshirting that year and then joining as Coach Magpayo across the country in the Bronx. That inbound pass played directly in from Tweedy, and Tweedy gets it back. Tweedy plays it up top. Cooper Wright getting guarded tightly by Roricourt. To Cummings, left wing, right behind him. Going through the left of the lane, met by Bodija. In the right corner to Carlissimo. Carlissimo driving all the way around the floor. Inside to Wright. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and that one will go out of bounds. It will stay with Colgate. They'll have a second to work with on the clock. Got to get this one up quick.
Just 1 second, baseline inbound, left side of the basket. Fantastic first 29. Now you execute in that last second.
Tweedy gets it inside to Carlissimo, right in the middle of the paint, and it's blocked by Day Reeves. The defensive menace gets after it there, and Fordham has it offensively. Reeves going right around a Bodija screen. Christian Henry up top. Roricourt plays it to Day Reeves, top of the arc, stops at the right elbow, spin around jumper is good, pure from Day Reeves.
It's one of those buckets that you only trust Day Reeves to make in a situation where you haven't scored in several minutes. You need something. It's not even a good look. He doesn't get into the paint. It's a fadeaway contested too, but if it's Day Reeves, you know what's going in when you need it to.
Cooper Wright plays it up top. Odette Oyimbo, dribble handoff, Cummings. Cummings guarded tightly by Marcus. Spinning in the paint and scoring with a right-handed floater. Marcus Green did a good job of stopping the ball there. Cummings with a nice move to get a good shot.
I think you live with that take if you're Fordham. That's the kind of take that you want the other team taking. A mid-range contested by a good defender in Marcus Green.
Henry, top of the key, guarded tightly by Tweedy, deep on the left wing, drives inside, takes the jumper, no good from mid-range. Carlissimo's corralling it on the defensive end.
It feels like Fordham's down by 15. They're only down by 6.
Yeah, both teams slightly slow starts offensively. Tweedy working inside, kicking it out to Cummings. Cummings drives to the left side of the lane, puts up a floater. It's an air ball, got picked up by a teammate. Ball ends up getting loose. Fordham has it again.
Adedi Imbo is really the only offensive rebounder on this Colgate team. He's wreaking havoc.
Reeves going right around a Bodija screen. Bodija picking up the offensive foul. And that's going to be a turnover for the Fordham Rams. 10:52 on the first half clock. Fordham trailing 13-7. We're going to send it to the Rose Hill Studios for a one-on-one scoreboard update with Travis Hayden. Take it away, Travis.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Let's look at what is happening in the A10 currently as the Merrimack Warriors took down the La Salle Explorers with a final score of 66-60. Led by freshman guard Javier Kennedy, number 5 lived up to his number as he finished the game with 5 steals while dropping 16 points and 6 assists. The St. Joseph Hawks took down the Princeton Tigers 60-58. Princeton guard Jackson Hickey had an amazing performance with 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. But it wasn't enough to take down the Hawks as sophomore guard Deuce Jones returned to his home state of New Jersey to drop 17 points and 9 rebounds to get his team a much-needed W. And currently in the A10, the 6-1 St. Bonaventure Bonnies are currently playing Florida Atlantic Owls. The game is currently in the first half with a score of 9-5. And we'll take it away back to Joe and Chris.
Chris Carrino joined by Joe Henry here at the Place Bell Arena in Montreal, Quebec, Canada at the Northern Classic, the culmination of the Northern Classic. Joe, it's a 6-point deficit for the Rams right now, 10:52 to go in this first half. But like you just said before going into the break, it feels like the Rams are down a whole lot more.
Yeah, well, it's cold in here. We're playing on a renovated hockey arena. There's literally ice beneath us, but then some panels and, of course, the hardwood. And Fordham is cold as well. 3 for 13 from the field, 23%, 1 of 3 from 3 so far. Not getting anything to go offensively, but doing a solid job on the defensive end. If you pace this out, 26, 28 points for Colgate in a half, that's a fantastic half of defense. It's about translating defense to offense. You'd like to see them get a turnover and a score in transition to jumpstart on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, as you said, Joe, 3 for 13 from the field for the Rams, 1 for 3 from the three-point line. Montreal Canadiens minor league team, the Rockets. That's who plays here. I want to thank them. Their arena's been fantastic all weekend long. And this Fordham team trying to change the script here slightly in the first half. It's Colgate offensively starting it after the timeout. Cox playing it in the left corner to Cooper Wright. It's now back to Cox in that left corner. Plays it to Carlissimo, left wing. Carlissimo tightly guarded by Reeves. Back out. Odetta Yimbo. Gives it to Cummings. Cummings loses the ball in midcourt. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Cummings right to left crossover. Takes the jumper. No good from 3. Akira Jacobs on the rebound. Another long possession for the Raiders.
Yep, another great 30 seconds of defense. That was Louis Lesmond on the contest. He was everywhere on that possession.
Day Reeves slowing it down a little bit for this Fordham team. A fast pace to the start of this one. Day Reeves, top of the arc. Guarded by Cox. Blows by Cox. Kicks it back out to Marcus Green. Green gets it to Akira Jacobs, right wing. Back up top to Schulte, the big man, top of the arc. Plays it to Reeves. Reeves picks up a double team in the lane. Pump fake, then takes a shot, doesn't get it to go. There's a fight on the defensive glass. Ends up being a shot clock violation. And it'll go back toward Colgate.
This team's effectively trading shot clock violations here. It was a good look from Reeves. He jumped up. He got the contact on the jump that he drew off of the defender. An undisciplined move from Colgate. But then just got caught up in the air, off balance take. Didn't get it to go. It was an air ball.
All Patriot League first-team preseason player Cox will bring it up for Colgate. Jalen Cox has it on the left wing. Up top to Carlissimo. He's wide open. He takes. No good. Carlissimo not there, but right on the offensive glass. Right, trying to kick it out. Ball is loose. Lesmond's there. Fordham gets it back.
Fordham needs to be way better on the offensive glass. Defensive glass.
Green has it in the right corner. Up top to Day Reeves. Day Reeves guarded by Carlissimo. Goes left around a screen. Back up top to Jacobs. Jacobs fires it inside to Schulte. Schulte spinning around, loses the ball, and Cox has it. Cox on the steal, kicks out to Carlissimo in transition. That three, no good from Carlissimo.
Fordham getting lucky in a way. A lot better takes that Colgate's getting than Fordham.
Yeah, we've talked about it almost ad nauseum, Fordham's inefficiency on the offensive end. Colgate not doing a whole lot better. That's a miss on the floater from Reeves on the offensive end for Fordham. It'll go out of bounds. It'll stay on this side with the Rams. Rams getting lucky there with the second chance.
It's probably the most we've seen Day Reeves struggle in a game so far. I know it says he's 2 for 5, but feels like he's kind of out of rhythm when he's driving inside. He's maybe not looking for teammates as much as he usually would. Not getting good shots off. Luckily, Fordham will retain possession.
As Joe said, Fordham retaining possession. Christian Henry on the right of the baseline. Kicks it to Green. Green on the inbound. No good from the left corner. Henry there on the offensive rebound. Offensive rebound spit out to the perimeter. Henry was there. Henry going left around a screen. Stops at the left elbow. Nice bounce pass inside to Schulte. Schulte spinning and scoring. Good play there from the Fordham offense.
A matter of time you connect at the rim. They had been 2 for 12 up until that point. Schulte able to stop the drought.
Cox guarded tightly by Green. Go to the left of the lane. Picked up by a few defenders. Kicks it out to Carlissimo. That right corner three is good. Kyle Carlissimo wide open after the attention paid to Jalen Cox in the lane. And Carlissimo made the most of it.
Yeah, Chris Henry got caught trying to go for the steal on the drive. Left Carlissimo wide open. He was late on the contest. The coaching staff not happy about that.
Henry driving. Stopping at the right block. Finishing at the rim plus the foul. Christian Henry. Christian Henry and Day Reeves keeping this Fordham offense warm here in the early stages.
For a guy that shot 15 free throws yesterday, Chris, probably the most that Chris Henry will take in his life. Good to see him continue to be aggressive inside, get to the line. That's where he's at his best. Maybe he's not a great free throw shooter. He's only shooting around 50% on the season so far. But when he gets inside, he's got a big build, kind of deceptively for a guy who's not very tall. He's able to throw his weight around a little bit. He's great at drawing contact, and he's a smooth finisher as well.
Fordham staying in this one and building up some momentum. They trail by 5, 16-11 over the Colgate Raiders. 8 minutes exactly to go in this first half. We'll send it to break. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi everyone, I'm Grace McCarran and I'm one of your 2025-26 New York Islanders beat reporters for WFUV Sports. Follow me on X at Grace McCarran_ for live game updates, features, and other inside content from the island all season long. From the development of first overall pick Matthew Schaefer to incredible saves by Ilya Sorokin, WFUV Sports has you covered every step of the way as the Isles look towards the postseason. WFUV is your home for New York sports.
We're here in Montreal for the third and final time this season. The Fordham Rams trailing the Colgate Raiders 16-11, 8 minutes to go in this first half. Joe, we've talked about it all half. This Fordham team definitely not having their best showing. That would be a bit of an understatement, but definitely staying in this one as well.
Not at all. One strength for both of these teams throughout the season has been their ability to take care of the rock. Both teams around the top 75 in the country in turnover percentage. That means they don't turn it over a whole lot. But Fordham up to 4 in the early going. Not a bad figure. However, Colgate yet to turn it over a single time, which means that Fordham can't really jumpstart its offense. It can't get out in transition. It has to try and do that off of live ball rebounds. It's not going to be as effective. Fordham needs to, force some more turnovers on defense, even though they're getting these long possessions out of Colgate, which is a good thing. They also need to take care of the ball much better. This is a team that was averaging 8.8 turnovers per game. That's extremely low, almost half of what you'd want your team to average. The number I'd say is maybe 14 or 15 would define an average game in terms of turning the ball over. They were averaging 8.8 before this tournament, but since then, they've turned the ball over much more. I believe they had 14 against Franklin Pierce. They had 11 or 13 against UAlbany, and that trend seems to be continuing so far today.
And it was such an efficient night last night. for the full 40 minutes, it seemed like this Fordham team well above, or right above 50%. It just seemed to be efficient. You want to see, as a Fordham fan, that continue throughout the rest of the season.
It's about putting together a good 40 minutes, and Fordham did that last night. They haven't done that in another game this season. I wouldn't say they did that against LIU as Chris Henry misses on the end, one free throw. They kind of put their foot off the gas in the last few minutes, about putting together a great full 40 minutes here. They're not doing it.
Yeah, Christian Henry off front rim. His free throw struggles continue.
Yeah.
Colgate now has it offensively. It's Alex Sinyanko up top, right, pump fakes, and stops. Dribble handoff on the left wing to Cox. Cox fakes the shot at the free throw line, kicks it back out. Alex Sinyanko at the rim, spinning and scoring. It was actually Sam Wright on the play there. The junior gets that one to go. He's averaging 14 on the season this year. A really good year so far for Sam Wright.
He was only averaging 5 a game last year, so a big leap for him in his third year.
57% from the field heading into this tournament as well. Christian Henry out of the left corner, driving inside, straight inside, middle of the paint. The floater is an air ball, and Colgate has it on the defensive glass.
Another great look, but an air ball.
IRA plays it up top. Alex Sinyanko, touch pass inside to right, guarded by 3 Fordham defenders, kicks it back out. That one over the hands and over the head of IRA, and it'll go the other way. Fordham forcing a turnover, as you said, Joe.
I will say, though, Chris, it feels like this is the first time in a game where Fordham's actually felt like the smaller team. Albany was big. They were probably bigger than Fordham. But this Colgate team's kind of throwing its weight around down low. Fordham's really struggling to get defensive rebounds. Even when they eventually pull one down, feels like Colgate is way more active than usual on the offensive glass.
Lesmond, touch pass inside to Rikus Schulte. Rikus Schulte picked up by 2 defenders, and he loses the ball. Colgate now running the other way. IRA driving to the left side of the lane, never stopping. Kicks it back out to Carlissimo. Carlissimo working it around the world to right. Now Cox has it, right wing. Guarded by Schulte and Lesmond. Stopping on the baseline, back out to right. Right pump fakes on the 3, drives inside on the much smaller Henry. Doesn't get the shot to go. Henry on the rebound. Good defensive effort from the Rams there. A foul in the backcourt by IRA on the dribbling Christian Henry. Good work there from Fordham.
You force a missed shot, but on that play, it really should have been a freebie layup for Sam Wright, driving inside on the smaller Chris Henry, because more miscommunication. Just a couple of screens at the perimeter, really at each elbow for Colgate on most possessions, and Fordham's looked lost at times and in scramble mode, and in those situations, they haven't always communicated very well and gotten over in the switch to contest shots better at the rim.
Raiders still leading 18-11 over the Fordham Rams, 6:06 to go in this first half. Lesmond plays it up top to Christian Henry. Christian Henry at midcourt, inside to Akira Jacobs, spinning and scoring from the mid-range in the paint. Akira Jacobs continuing the efficient offensive play so far.
One of the most efficient players on the team in the conference, really, from two-point range. 16 for 23 on two-point shots to start the season, coming off of his best game yesterday at 16 points, trying to repeat that today.
Alex Sinyanko in the right corner to right wide open on the 3, didn't get it to go, and Christian Henry once again on the defensive glass. Plays it up ahead to Schulte. That pass poked away, an ambitious pass, ends up leading to an out-of-bounds Fordham ball under the basket.
It feels like with Fordham, sometimes when their offense is slow to get going, they get into force-it mode. They start trying to force passes up ahead. That was a full-court look from Chris Henry to his big man and Schulte, who's had some trouble handling balls inside so far today. Feel like you have to slow it down in that situation or drive it yourself if you're a guy in Chris Henry who's really good at driving, and then find a kick-out option or then dump it off down low to Schulte.
Inbound to Louis Lesmond, top of the arc. Lesmond now deep on the right wing, going right around a Bodija screen. Lesmond in the right corner to Reeves. It's taken away. Cox takes it away. Another inerrant error from Fordham on the defensive end. Christian Henry at the rim with a major block. Christian Henry ascending to right around where the backboard is. A two-handed block ends up being a foul anyway. It'll send Colgate to the line. I think the Fordham bench thought that one was clean. Nonetheless, Colgate going to get free throws.
Can't blame him for that. He got back well. He set himself up in pretty good defending positions. He went straight up, but I think he was within the restricted area, and that's why they called that a foul on Henry. But again, just a really poor pass from Louis Lesmond in the right wing. Wasn't pressured very much as Tweedy hits his first of 2. You have to find a better look than that. You're passing maybe a 5-foot pass to Day-Day Reeves. You can't risk that ball being picked off. It's just way too close of a pass, way too easy of a pass to make, to making it in that much of a lackluster fashion.
Tweedy on his second. Only transfer on this Colgate roster. Makes the second. Now a 20-13 lead for Colgate. 5:18 to go in this first half. talking to sports information director Joe DeBerry before the game. When it comes to the Ivy League and the Patriot League, Joe, there's not a lot of changeover, a lot of continuity between those two conferences.
Pretty crazy to think about. They graduated 4, so they brought 4 people new in. They had 1 person transfer out, so they added 1 transfer. But so much continuity and guys developing year over year under the same system. Feels like that's great for these players.
Yeah, it has to help the group. Christian Henry, top of the arc, 6 seconds on the shot clock, has to work quickly. Step back 3 on the right wing, no good, rimming in and out. And Colgate now getting it back the other way. IRA dribbling to the left wing, up top to right. Right, trying to get to the right wing, he does. Gets it to Tweedy. Tweedy gets it to Alex Sinyanko. Inside to right, Bodija pokes it away. Bodija forces the turnover for Colgate. It's now Bodija. Top of the arc, sets a screen for Reeves. Reeves goes around it, takes the mid-ranger, no good off back and front rim, and the Fordham Rams continuing their struggle on the offensive end. Nice play there by Cox. Cox inside, Alex Sinyanko. Good on the mid-ranger. Alex Sinyanko right from the free throw line on the beautiful feed from Cox, and Colgate continuing to score. It's now a 9-point lead, 22-13, 4:08 to go in this first half.
Very lucky in that Colgate only has 22 points in 16 minutes. Man, that's a fantastic defensive performance from Fordham so far, especially when they're not forcing really any turnovers at all. But offensively, it shows you just how poorly things are going, that the guy in Day-Day Reeves who consistently bails you out when you're in long scoreless stretches can't hit that classic step-back elbow jumper that he's so patented for making, that he's made all year in the biggest moments when you've needed that jolt offensively to settle down, to have your oldest guy, your most experienced guy, put a ball in the hoop, making a nice play, and settle the team down. They haven't had it so far today.
Colgate continuing to expand their lead. It's now 22-13. Fordham Rams trailed by 9, 4:08 to go in this first half. We're going to send it back to the Bronx in the Rose Hill studio for another one-on-one scoreboard update with Travis Hayden. Take it away, Travis.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In the rest of the A10, let's look at the women's side, as Fordham women's basketball is up big right now against Long Island University. The Rams are having a huge game from their reserves right now, with multiple players having double-digit points off the bench. And Alexis Black is continuing her historic season with 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in a big win at the Rose Hill Gym. In the battle of the cat teams, the Davidson Wildcats took down the Ohio Bobcats 64-59. Thanks to Wildcat senior guard Charles C. Dunn, who had a double-double with 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks, and a steal on the defensive end. And now we look to Dunkane versus Navy, as Dunkane took down Navy 69-67. That has been your one-on-one scoreboard update. I'm Travis Hayden, sending it back to Joe and Chris.
Joe Henry joining me, Chris Carrino here in Montreal. The third and final game of the Northern Classic. The Fordham Rams trail by 9, 22-13 over the Colgate Raiders. 4:08 to go in this first half. Fordham's inefficiency on the offensive end continues, Joe. Now 6 for 20 from the field.
Yeah, 27%, just 1 for 5 from 3 for a team that had really struggled from distance to start the season, but have been heating up a ton in recent matchups. Hasn't happened so far today.
Kira Jacobs, top of the arc 3, no good on that one. Bodija on the second effort. Ends up being Rora Kaur getting the third effort and scoring it at the basket. Fordham giving a real effort on the offensive glass.
That's the type of energy plays on the interior from your tallest guys to give you that jolt out of the timeout. Now way more energy on the bench after that play.
Yeah, ton of energy. Tweedy inside, now in the left corner. Cox's 3, it's good. Nothing but net for Jalen Cox, the South Kent transfer, and he's leading this Colgate team as well as you can. Henry going left around a screen, now at the left elbow, passing it back out. Kira Jacobs now has it top of the arc once again to Day-Day Reeves on the right wing. Double teamed on the baseline, now just Tweedy, spinning on Tweedy, takes the fadeaway on the baseline, no good. It's gathered on the defensive glass by Colgate. Cox pushing it quickly the other way. Touch pass out to IRA. IRA stopping on the baseline. IRA back up top. Alex Sinyanko going left around the screen, now top of the arc. Fakes the dribble handoff on the left wing. Now a pass into a Cutting play, and the pass, the dump-off pass, leads to a slam from Odette Oyimbo. Josh Odette Oyimbo showing off for this Colgate offense. Colgate continuing to separate themselves from Fordham.
Biggest lead of the day so far, 27-15. How will you respond? These final 2.5 minutes so crucial here in the first half.
2:30 to go in this first half. 27-15, 12-point lead for Colgate. Day Reeves, dribble handoff to Henry, left wing. Henry stopping at the right elbow. Inside to Bodija, he finishes. Great look from Christian Henry.
Great look, get a ball screen, you're curling to the right, that's your dominant hand. Find the bigger guy in Bodija on the roll, an easy finish. That's the recipe for success offensively.
Tweedy playing it inside, back to Tweedy. An array of passes leads to Cox having it, right corner. Played it to Alex Yanko. That pass taken away. Alex Yanko tried to play it inside. Fordham took it. Fordham now has it offensively. Henry, top of the arc, going right around a Bodija screen. In the left corner, Roar Core, catching fire, no good, off the left side of the rim. Cox there on the defensive glass. He's going to take it himself. Pass now on the right wing to Tweedy, touch pass. IRA driving inside, another kick out. No good from Alex Yanko. That ball fought for on the defensive glass, out of bounds. It's going to go off of Boss Bodija and going to stay with Colgate.
Jalen Cox, who is a good rebounder, but literally does not crash the glass ever offensively. He had one offensive rebound all season up till today. That's their leading minutes getter. Of course, he's a point guard, but he doesn't crash at all. He's been crashing so far today. Fordham has really struggled to handle this new Colgate game plan on the offensive glass.
Cox is going to have it on the left side of the baseline under his own basket. He'll inbound it from there, gets it in the left corner to Tweedy. Tweedy faking left and going right on the baseline. Kick out, IRA, straight on three, no good, wide open, no good on the shot. Day Reeves saving it out of bounds, getting the ball back for the Rams. Christian Henry brings it up for the Rams on the right wing. Guarded tightly by Tweedy, backing down Tweedy now. Loses the ball in the post. It'll stay on this side, a foul called on the floor on Tweedy. Fordham will have an inbound.
This is going to be easily the lowest
shots
scoring output
for the Rams
in a half for Fordham all season so far. I mean, it has been ugly in just about every way you shape it. They've been turning the ball over. They've got 6. They haven't been rebounding well on the offensive glass. They've not been putting the ball in from the interior. Haven't gotten anything going from three-point land.
Christian Henry has it on the inbound, deep on the right wing. Trying to navigate his way through the lane. Ends up being an offensive foul. That one's going to go on Rikus Schulte, and that'll be Colgate ball going back the other way. Fordham is not in a position to be to not take advantage of chances like that.
Again, it's that issue of forcefulness. You're trying to do too much if you're Rikus Schulte. You have a big frame. Trust that you can set a solid screen for a guy in Chris Henry who's so adept at getting to the rim. You don't need to do anything extra. You don't need to spread your legs out, widen your shoulders. You can set a good hard screen as you are.
Cox, a nice pass inside, back out to IRA. IRA pump fakes, then drives. It'll be a blocking foul plus the shot. IRA gets the floater to go in the middle of the lane amongst many Fordham defenders. Gets the shot and the foul. It's a blocking foul called on the baseline from the official. Colgate continuing their momentum. It's going to be Josh Ire at the line trying to complete the three-point play. 51 seconds in this first half, a 29-17 Colgate lead.
Yeah, it's a big gut punch. You have 51 and a half seconds to find a way to go into the locker room with any type of momentum, something you can take away as a positive from this first half and translate into momentum in the second half. As a reminder, Fordham blew the doors off of UAlbany in the second half last game. They scored a 15-0 run to open up the second half of play. They need to do that again.
Free throw was good. Three-point play completed by IRA. Now Fordham has it. 45 seconds on the first half clock. 13-point deficit. Schulte played the ball inside. It'll be a foul on the floor on Rikus Schulte. It'll go on the big man, Sam Wright. Will stay on this side with the Rams. It'll be inbounded under the basket by the Rams.
What do you think the team should be doing going into the second half?
It'll be Louis Lesbon subbing out for the Rams this last couple possessions of the first half. That's in favor of Akira Jacobs, the Hawaii transfer.
Looking for a corner three from Jacobs. They've gone that way a lot.
I can compare it to UFC.
Inbounded under the basket to Akira Jacobs, left corner, back to Christian Henry. Henry has it on the baseline, left baseline, backing down Carlissimo, straight through his chest, in the paint, bounce pass inside to Schulte. He's rejected at the rim. Odedo Yimbo absolutely saying no, 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 Joe, at the rim.
My goodness. This kid is the second best blocker in the country by block percentage. No one except for one guy blocks more shots at the rate that he does. That's how much of a pest he is under the rim. He only plays like 14, 16 minutes a game. He's averaging more than 2 blocks per contest, Chris.
Yeah.
We're going to get a stoppage of play here. Not sure if they're going to go review that play or not. I don't think they are. I think it's just a standard timeout. 29.6 on the game clock. Obviously, shot clock is waved away. 30-17 lead for Colgate. As you've said, Joe, a couple times this afternoon so far, Colgate not playing their best game and giving Fordham ample opportunity to get back in this one.
Yeah, Colgate has kind of struggled offensively lately. They've turned the ball over 7 times. Remember, they hadn't turned the ball over in the first 8 minutes of play or so. To have 7 turnovers in this short of a span, you'd think that that would jumpstart this Fordham offense, but not so. Only 17 points in 19 and a half minutes for the Rams. Just not able to convert. They only have 5 points off of turnovers so far today. They're shooting 27.6% from the field, 14.3 from 3. It's really the inefficiency on the inside that's a big one for me. Yes, you're not getting it going from downtown. That's a big help. It kind of expands your offensive game. But when you're getting the ball inside and you're getting good looks, I mean, overall, I would say that Fordham's gotten decent looks. You'd expect them to be hitting maybe a 50% clip, maybe even 55 on the interior. That hasn't been the case at all. They're hitting 7 of their first 22 shots from beyond the arc. I think that's, what, 30%, Chris?
Yeah. Around there. I failed college algebra, so
that's all right, Chris.
I'm not necessarily
I'm pretty confident in that one.
For that. Another theme that we've seen throughout the last 3 days, every time there's an official review, which we just ended up having on that play, the TV crew on the scores table ends up getting their TV taken away from them. The officials use that as their review system, and now after that, it seems Fordham post-challenging that play are going to get the play in their favor. Officials still with headsets on, so I don't think any definitive decisions have been made.
When you watch a TV broadcast, they'll show all the replays that they have from a play that's being challenged. The referees here don't have a replay review system, which is usually separate from the TV broadcast, so they're just using the replay angles that everyone else who's watching at home is seeing, which is, I've never seen that before, Chris. It's comical.
It is comical, especially with all the referees comedically what would you call that? Crouched around the screen, all of them very close to each other's faces, and now we'll get a 3-person official scrum on the court as they decide. But as we've said, Joe, throughout this half, this Fordham team cannot be dejected. They can be a little dejected in their play and how they've played, but they can't be dejected in thinking that they still can't win this one. They most definitely can.
They're certainly still in it. It's about how you punch back in the second half. Marcus Green was talking after Friday night where Fordham blew a 17-point lead with 12 minutes to go and almost lost to D2 Franklin Pierce. He said, we have to put the game away in the second half, the games that we should be putting away. Now, this isn't one of those games. Colgate is a really good team. This is a really even matchup, but Fordham needs to punch first in the second half. It's something they've only done a couple of times so far this season.
They're about to win game changer 3
for them. Can you come out with energy, revitalized after a poor 20 minutes?
And Joe, the Fordham Rams won that challenge. They'll have the ball under the basket, inbounding it. A few of our coaches, along with a few of our student managers, helping get that one challenged and reviewed. A miss there from Day-Day Reeves off the inbound from 3. Fordham continuing to miss offensively.
Another solid look. He doesn't get catch-and-shoot looks a whole ton, does Reeves.
That's what the Texans
but
did.
You'd expect that ball to go in more often than not. This guy is shooting 43% from downtown, even for a team that struggled from distance overall. But so far today, he's 0 for 2.
Another timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll stay here with these two teams. This Fordham team, for all intents and purposes, had their best outing last night. That was against UAlbany. They won that one by more than 20, whether it was Christian Henry, whether it was Akira Jacobs. A lot of positive things to take away from that game last night. Joe, a lot of that momentum can go away with a poor performance today.
No doubt. I mean, we saw the nature of the multi-team event in college basketball throughout this weekend. The most horrid win you could imagine on Friday night, as oxymoronic as that might sound, to only win by 2 against a D2 team. Then turn around and you blow out a team that's pretty decent by 20, and you feel comfortable the whole time, wire-to-wire win. You started out 5-0, and you took it the whole rest of the way. Never really got within single digits in the second half. And then maybe, 16 hours later, total opposite once more.
7 guys, or 3 guys with 7 rebounds in that game last night. The first one, Rikus Schulte, that's relatively not surprising. The other 2, Christian Henry and Day-Day Reeves, the 2 guys in the backcourt getting a combined 14 rebounds last night.
Jets win.
Day Reeves,
Nick Folk
Christian
hits a
Henry
58-yard
combining
game
for
winner.
a whole lot of points last night. Cox will start it off for Colgate offensively. 13 seconds on the game clock. That'll be a foul on the floor from Louis Lesmont. A reach in.
Foul to give for Fordham. So one more try for Colgate. 12.8 on the shot clock. Far side inbound. Fordham's done pretty well defending the inbound so far today.
It'll be Carlissimo inbounding it. He'll get it to Cox in the backcourt.
I got the
Christian
I got
Henry
this
won't
update
follow
when
him there.
I'm
He'll
ready
wait
to
at half court. 9 seconds on the game
I'm
clock.
already
Cox
gonna say,
right to left crossover. Driving through the left side of the
joined
lane.
today by
Back
Travis
out.
Hayden.
Allison
Before we
Yanko,
talk
no
about
good
the
from
game,
3.
Travis,
Rebound by
tell us
Wright.
what's going
Wright
on
has it in the
world of
paint.
sports in
His floater's no good. IRA on the third chance is also no good. And the Fordham Rams survived that last possession
can
without
someone
giving
give
up
a call
points.
for
And they'll go
Thomas,
into the locker room down 13.
Down 13, down but not out. But it's hard to feel good about scoring 17 points on an entire half. That's the lowest output in a half so far for Fordham this season. That
By far,
includes
Joe.
A brutal loss to NJIT where I believe they had 24 in one
26,
half.
along with the Iona
26.
game. 26 points twice this season, but 17 points in that zone. That's way below that,
Whole
Joe.
different animal. And holding Colgate to just 30, where if you held a team to 60 points per game on defense on average, that would be a top 10 mark in the nation. At one point, Fordham was 11th in opponent scoring. They had held opponents to 61 points per game. Now the number's up to 68. The defense has been terrific, especially when the half-court defense can get set. It's been in transition where Colgate is, maybe they're not getting all the way to cup in transition with Jalen Cox, but even when they slow it down a tiny bit and Fordham's in scramble mode, Cox has been able to penetrate, kick out, and wide open looks have fallen for Colgate. They just haven't really hit. Now the big issue for Fordham is how do you get this offense started?
Yeah, both these offenses slow starting here this afternoon. We're at the Northern Classic at Place Bell Arena in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The final game of the Classic. Fordham Rams going into the locker room down 30-17 over the Colgate Raiders. And we'll have all the action for the second half in a moment, but we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a one-on-one halftime show with Sam Giangrande and Travis Hayden. Take it away, Sam and Travis.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Hello, New York City. Welcome to the one-on-one halftime report. I'm Sam Giangrande, joined today by Travis Hayden. Before we talk about the game, Travis, tell us what's going on in the world of sports and their scores.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Thank you, Sam. It's the last Sunday in November, which means football season is in full swing, and man, has it been crazy. Let's look at what's happening in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers took down the number 1 seed Los Angeles Rams with a final score of 31-28. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford tied Tom Brady's record of 28 touchdown passes without an interception, and then threw a pick 6 on the next drive. The Panthers keep their playoffs hopes alive, and with an Eagles and Rams loss, it feels like the NFC is now wide open. The Houston Texans have upset the Indianapolis Colts 20-16. Houston now moves to 7-5 on the year and is looking to win the AFC South for a third straight season. And after a slow start, they are now 1 game behind the Colts. And the kick was good. Nick Folk hits a 58-yard field goal as the New York Jets beat the Atlanta Falcons 27-24. The Jets get their 3rd win on the year at MetLife Stadium. And now it's time to take it back for Fordham and Colgate.
Come on, those Jets. My uncle is actually at that game right now, just texting me how happy he is about those Jets. But let's focus on Fordham. Right now the score is 17-30. Travis, what do you think compared to yesterday, Fordham's doing the most differently? I was watching the game yesterday and I had the stats pulled up. Fordham shot 51% in the field yesterday. Right now, they have not been doing as good offensively. Travis, what do you think they're doing too differently?
I think Fordham really needs to take advantage of their offensive opportunities. Shooting 27% field goal percentage is not going to win the game. When you look at Colgate is shooting 39%. Colgate has taken less shots than Fordham, which is a surprising thing to look at. It's just it's all about converting these opportunities you have at the field. When you just have to make your shots sometimes. You can't be missing 22 and a half and be shooting 27% and expect to be playing winning basketball. Though there is some positives to look at. It is a 13-point lead. You have another half of basketball to play, which is good. The 3-point percentage really needs to go up, I would think. If you have to start hitting your threes.
No, definitely. Fordham are not playing bad. It's just they are not making their shots. Compared to yesterday, the game was a lot more about defense. Fordham yesterday had a little sloppy end of the first half where they started lacking in the defense department. Now it's quite the opposite. They've been doing pretty well defensively. It's more just on their offense and making these shots. If you're coach right now going to the locker room, what are you telling your team and telling these players what they should be doing, focusing on the second half?
Something I would actually try and focus on is you could tell that maybe the 3-point ball is not going to be working today. I would say kind of crash the paint and try and draw fouls. You have some big players on your team. What I would do is you've been to the line one time throughout this entire game. You're 0 for 1 on free throws. Colgate's 3 for 3. I would just try and get to the line more. Crash the paint and get to the line. Take high percentage shots. Maybe not go for 3 if it hasn't been working this game. I would look at the numbers and be like, hey, maybe if we crash the paint here, we get hacked a little bit. We slowly start to dip into this lead by hitting our free throws. Granted, you haven't had the opportunity to hit free throws today. I would say that's what you need to do. Crash the paint, play big, maybe get a foul or two, and go to the line. Get yourself slowly back into this game.
Definitely. Do you think that Fordham's tired after playing 2 games back-to-back going to this one? Just looking at how they've been playing, they're not getting as much shots in, especially in the threes where they've been lacking super behind in that when Colgate's shot 5 and then Fordham only with 1. Do you think Fordham's starting to get tired and that coaches start using his rotation players, using the bench a bit more?
Yeah, I could see how that's the case. I mean, you've been in Montreal since Thanksgiving. That's a long trip from here. You're going to essentially to another country to play a mini tournament and play a few teams. So it is very tough, especially after like one of those long trips, these holiday classic tournaments. You see them every year. I see it at home with Fairfield University. These tournaments, they get tired with everything. Like you just get a little too tired when you play some of these, and sometimes you're waiting for it to end. And you're ready to go back, and you're ready to go play at Rose Hill again, and you're ready to play in front of the home crowd instead of maybe a neutral crowd that's just there to enjoy some basketball. They don't really have a side. You're playing in front of fans that are feeding either your team or their team, so there's not as much of an advantage going on. I would think that Fordham might be a little bit ready to come home from Montreal. They've had a good run, but they do need to finish out one more half. And it's interesting to see because they have taken more shots. It's just about converting these shots. 1 for 8 from 3 does, and the fact that Colgate is 5 for 15 from 3 compared to Fordham's 1 for 8, and it's a 13-point game. They've hit 4 more threes, so that's 20 points that come down from threes. It means Fordham can still be in this game. They just have to hit the shots when it matters the most. And if you play better in the second half, they can easily come away with this game.
Definitely. Fordham yesterday was able to shoot 50% in the first half from threes, and now in this half they've only been able to shoot 12.5%. And I agree with what you say. This game is definitely about endurance. When you're playing 2 games before such a short amount of time, you're away from home, you're across the border. It starts to become definitely about a mental thing. And I know yourself, you're a UFC guy. If we can compare this a bit to the UFC, how do you exploit a team's weaknesses? I know you were saying to try and bait them into more fouls. How would you kind of connect that between the two?
I would say you just gotta go hard in the paint sometimes. I mean, if the 3 ball clearly isn't working, it seems like you're not taking enough shots in the paint. It feels like 22 of your shots have come from others throughout the rest of the floor. I would feel like you might need to crash the paint, rely on your bigs, get fouled, exploit some matchups. Like maybe you pick and rolls, and then you have a small on a big, you have the guard on your center. He's got to hack you to get it. That's 3 points right there, and 1 if you get the and 1. What I'm gonna say is just try and foul bait, because if you foul bait, you're not taking free throws win games. And it's not something we look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the NBA. He shoots around 15, 16 a game, and Oklahoma City is 19-1. If you're shooting 1 for 8, you can't. Obviously, you're not going to be playing winning basketball shooting 1 for 8 on threes. But you're 0 for 1 at the free throw line. Usually, we like to look at teams like, oh, they're under 70% from the free throw line. They've only had 1 free throw throughout this entire game. So that makes me think they're not playing aggressive enough in the paint.
Definitely. And I agree that they have to try and bait out Colgate. Any sport, it's a game of mentality, tactics. And I think that's something that coach should be going into halftime in the locker room saying, hey, look at our 3 throws. We're not making all these ones. Compared to yesterday, we can't keep up with them at this point. I think they definitely do need to change their tactics a little. Start baiting out these fouls, getting into small points. You got to chip away. And that goes for any sport, especially here with basketball. You got to chip away at that point gap. You got to slowly come back up, and then when you see maybe first 5 minutes in, it'll go to 40-28, and then it gets start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It becomes a mental thing. You're like, hey, we can get back into this. We can start closing that point gap. We can start getting on a lead. Fordham only had a lead for a matter of seconds for this game. Having that lead for at any point is a huge thing to have. So I think going to the second half, change up the tactics a little. Focus on, hey, if they can't get these 3 throws in, they can't get in 3-pointers, focus a little on something different to be able to get that point gap in and close it off.
Yeah, and also we have to give some credit to the Rams defense as well, because when you look at the stats of this game, it feels like it shouldn't be this close. It feels like Colgate should be blowing ahead. But again, they are also from the field goal. They are 39%. They are 11 for 28. Fordham is doing a good job of containing them and being like, hey, this game is still close. We have time. At the end of the half, 13 points. That's 3 threes, and maybe 4 threes and a free throw. And if you go into that, and if you're Coach Magpio, like maybe what happens is you give up your initial game plan. Like, hey, my initial game plan is not working this half. What hurts against a team like Colgate that you're down a little bit by? It wouldn't hurt to change up the game plan a little bit. You could go in there and say, hey, let's switch this out. This is the end of a long tournament. Let's try something new in here. If this isn't working, let's try something new.
Kind of the Ted Lasso strategy with that, but I always say sports is a mental thing, and going with mentality, ego is a huge thing. To be a good and great coach, you gotta sometimes say, hey, my tactics for this game was not working for the first half. You gotta admit to yourself, maybe focus on what your assistant coach, what they're saying. Listen to other people. And that's one thing I think coach should be saying going to the locker room right now. Being able to be willing to give up your tactics, to try something else, to trust someone else. Something that should, no matter who you are, no matter if you're in the lowest division on a national level, any coach, to be a good and great coach, you got to be willing to give up your tactics when they aren't clearly working. And I think so far, these players being tired, away from home, across the border, not as many fans being there, not being within the Rose Hill gym, it's basically constant away games the whole time. So going to the second half, I think coach really has to focus on new tactics, new ways to close in that point gap. When that point gap's smaller, then you start feeling a lot more confident. You can maybe hit those 3 throws knowing that point gap's only inches away from being closed off. But unfortunately, we are out of time for now. But you can catch me and Travis at the one-on-one post-game show where we will talk about the results. I'm sending this back to Chris, Carrino, and Joe Henry across the border up in Montreal. I'm Sam Giugrani, joined by Travis Hayden. Let's go Fordham.
Hi, I'm Mary Hawthorne, one of your hosts on WFUV's tennis podcast, Cross the Line. From breakdowns of majors to courtside U.S. Open coverage, we've got you covered on all things tennis from the ATP and WTA. Tune in to weekly episodes of Cross the Line on YouTube and featured segments on One-on-One. Cross the Line, WFUV's home court for tennis.
Tap on the table, I got it.
Like, I was doing that with, one of the podcasts. If you want to, I think it's, a great sign of, since they can't even see us, if you want to say something, just go, softly. I'm like, I'll, quickly transition over to
Hi, I'm Ashley Went, one of your hosts for FUVFC, WFUV's best, if not only, podcast for all things soccer. From insight from beat reporters for all of New York soccer clubs to breakdowns of all the major leagues and events from the international pitch to right here in the States. Tune in weekly as we discuss all things soccer on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week on FUVFC, a product of WFUV.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
Back here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. A pleasure to be here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, joined by my partner, Joe Henry, here at the Northern Classic at Place Bell Arena. It has been an interesting it had been an interesting half for the Fordham Rams, maybe one of their poorest showings and a half so far this season. Not totally out of the water yet, not out of this game whatsoever, but definitely need to change the script in that second half.
Yeah, as Trav and Sam were saying, it really feels like day 3 is getting to Fordham more than it did to Colgate. Feels like they're tired, feels like they're fatigued, and that kind of makes sense given what we know having been on this trip. Obviously, it's the third game in 3 days, but a lot of the team is sick. We're both sick.
Yeah.
I've seen players on the other team coughing. Feels like there's something going around, and not just that, but Fordham is extremely shorthanded. They're without Ryan Pettis, who we believe isn't getting checked out for a concussion. He didn't make the trip. They're without Zurich Nutter, who hasn't played since his groin injury against Wagner. They're without Jack Whitborn, who hasn't played so far this year with a knee issue, but we think he's getting a little bit closer to coming back. So Fordham's only played 8 players. They really only have one more guy on the bench in Kingston Price until you get to the walk-ons. So Fordham playing shorthanded these 3 games. And when you have to play 3 games in a row in that fashion where you're playing 8 men, maybe 9, give Kingston Price a few minutes here, it's just not a recipe for success against a much deeper Colgate team.
Yeah, Joe, I even thought, personally, talking about us last night, getting back from the hotel after the game, I was texting someone and I was like, I can't believe that this team, I can't believe how tired I am. I can't even imagine how tired these players are. 3 games in 3 days with the travel, with a shoot-around or practice every day. It's a regimented schedule, and it just gives you more respect for these guys doing it with them.
Yeah, it's pretty much constant day in, day out. You wake up, you have something to go to, whether that's a team meal or that's a walkthrough or that's a morning shoot-around or it's a full practice. They've done a little bit of everything to try and prepare for these 3 games. It's not just the physical toil, though, too. It's also the mental toil of trying to remember your scouting reports. You have to do 3 in 3 days as players. You have to remember, all right, this guy I got to do a hard closeout on. This guy I can't let get inside. This guy I got to keep towards his left because he's a righty and he loves to go to his right. A lot of things to compartmentalize all at once.
Yeah, and one word to describe that Fordham first half, especially that Fordham offensive first half, is inefficient. They were 8 for 30 from the field. That's good for 26%, and they were 1 for 8 from 3. That's good enough for 12%. This Fordham team, through major stretches of the game last night, was above 50% in both of those categories. Regardless of the other intangibles, this Fordham team needs to get more efficient to see results tonight.
Yeah, and one of the keys to the game for Fordham is to kill the head of the snake each game. So in this game, that's Jalen Cox, the guy who has the ball the most, the guy who's their most dynamic playmaker, their best guard. Shut him down if you're Chris Henry and Day-Day Reeves. And really, they've done that. He's gotten involved in a variety of ways, but he only has 3 points. He's only tried 2 shots. He does have 3 rebounds. He's got 4 assists. He's been spreading the ball around well. He's got a couple steals helping Colgate convert on the other end. When he's a guy who gets a steal, he can get out really quick. He's the fastest guy on the floor. But overall, another good job shutting down the team's best player. We saw that against Amir Lindsay when Fordham held him to just 1 of 12 shooting. That was the best guard on Uwalmany, guy that people were saying and the coaching staff, is he better than Jalen Cox? Is Jalen Cox a little bit better? Well, so far both have been shut down. We didn't see that against Franklin Pierce where Anthony Parker kind of went off, but otherwise this season in the LIU game where Fordham held him to just 53 points, Malachi Davis, who's an all-league type of guard, was held to, 3 points in that matchup. So Fordham overall has done so well in that aspect, and yet you look at the scoreboard, still down 13.
Yeah, unless Alexienko, the freshman, Andrew Alexienko, the freshman for this Colgate team, he leads their team with 10 points. No one else has more than 5. It's been a real dichotomy in the Colgate offense. A lot of guys scoring, not a lot of guys scoring a lot, but a lot of guys scoring a decent amount.
And a lot of guys taking a decent number of shots. It's not like everyone's got 2 points and everyone's taking one shot and then one guy's chucked up 12. It's a lot of guys with 3, 4, 5, 6 field goal attempts. Fordham's done a decent job at spreading out, but Reeves and Henry have taken well more than anyone else on the floor. It feels like the bench guys have not been involved in the offense at all.
I always tell people, Joe, I don't know a lot about anything, but I know a little about a lot. It's a similar philosophy to the Colgate offense here this afternoon so far. Fordham will start offensively this half, and that's poked away. Cox has it. Schulte tried to pass it Day Reeves. It was intercepted, and Cox finishes with a layup on the other end. Not the start the Fordham Rams wanted.
Another inexcusable turnover on what should have been a dribble handoff. Reeves got caught up a little bit. Schulte didn't know what to do. He just dropped it off right into the hands of Jalen Cox.
And now Green has it, deep on the left wing. Played up top to Akira Jacobs. He'll catch and fire. Top of the arc, no good on the 3. Rebound brought down by Cox. Colgate going the other way.
Marcus Green getting the start in the second half, by the way.
Yeah.
In favor of Louis Lesmond.
Yeah, Louis Lesmond out of the 5 that started the second half. And, of course, Green, Cap as they call him, Marcus Green in there for the Rams. Top of the key, pump fake, pass on his left side. Alexienko spinning at the right block and putting up a shot wide open at the rim. Nifty move to get wide open and make the basket.
Akira Jacobs has done a good job defensively overall this season, staying in front of more nimble defenders, but that time he got put in a blender.
Christian Henry on the left wing, takes a 3, no good, rebound by Cox. A little out of rhythm there for Henry. Now on the right wing, passed inside tonight, kick out, skip pass in the left corner, another pass to Cox, top of the arc. He'll kick it out after a drive. IRA is good from the right wing. Josh IRA, the sophomore, gets a triple for Colgate, and they're starting to sense it. They're expanding on their lead. It's now 37-17, 8:31 to go in the second half. A 20-point lead for the Raiders.
A 7-0 run to start the half, a 12-2 run overall. Fordham has nothing going on offense, and Colgate is getting out quicker than Fordham on their offensive end, and then Fordham is late in transition in help defense. It's creating these wide open looks from 3, and now they're starting to fall for Colgate.
Yeah, it's been a combination of really good looks from the Colgate offense and an inefficiency from the Fordham Rams. The Fordham Rams continue to be inefficient from the offensive side of the ball. Now 8 for 32 from the field. That's 25%, 1 for 10 from the three-point line. We'll continue monitoring that throughout the game, but definitely not a way to win any sort of basketball game, Joe.
No. Not at all. And there's a few keys that I had for Fordham coming into the game, and they've really gone 0 for 3 in these. One was win the turnover battle. They've almost done that. They've committed 8. Colgate has committed 7. Fordham's had too many turnovers. They've done an okay job on the defensive end, forcing loose balls, getting deflections, and haven't really done a lot translating that into points. They only have 4 points off of turnovers. I also said, how about we win at the strips? What Travis was saying, get to the free throw line a little bit more. Get your guys going from there into a rhythm, and then they can get it going from the field. Maybe get into the bonus early. It's what they did yesterday. They had 21 free throws in that contest. It tied a season high. You get into the bonus early. It's keeping the other team on the heels. It's giving you a lot of free points. They have not done that at all. Fordham has only taken 1 free throw in over 20 minutes of play. They've done a good job defensively from a discipline standpoint. Colgate's only had 3. And then third, second chances. Fordham has been pretty much non-existent on the offensive boards. They've been out-rebounded by a Colgate team that typically allows the other team to get gift-wrapped defensive rebounds. It hasn't been the case at all. Fordham hasn't been able to ignite its offense. Colgate's gotten second chances. It's been ugly in just about every aspect.
We're going to get a new-look Rams coming out of the timeout. It's going to be Kingston Price, as you said, the only scholarship player not to see action so far today. He'll come in out of the timeout, along with Rora Kaur as well, the only true freshman on this roster. It'll be a new-look scene for the Rams, a big group for the Rams. Abbas Bodija, Rora Kaur, and Rika Schulte all going out there. The 3 big men for this Fordham team. Everyone in the front court out there aside from Akira Jacobs.
It feels like you're looking for a punch on the glass, which Fordham really hasn't had. The only time I can think of Fordham getting a great second chance point was when Rora Kaur cleaned up an offensive rebound from Abbas Bodija to put that one in. So those guys have been putting up the best effort on the glass. Rika Schulte, of course, we know is a really good rebounder. You put all those guys in the game together, along with Day Reeves, who can sniff out some rebounds himself, and you have a unit that's maybe better equipped to stymie the trend that we've seen in the rebounding category.
It'll be Day Reeves starting with the offense coming out of the timeout. Fordham's on the right wing. Kingston Price in the right corner. Roricourt inside on the right block. Rika Schulte back to his defender, backing him down. Now moving into the paint. A fadeaway floater doesn't go, and the putback is good. Abbas Bodija on the putback. Fantastic work from the Fordham front court.
Yeah, he was off balance, had his jersey getting tugged at, but he made it go regardless. Now Fordham chanting defense on the bench, trying to get a stop.
Alexienko in the corner. IRA back out. Alexienko gives it back to IRA. IRA driving through the left side of the lane, puts up a shot, gets the layup to go, plus the foul. Was met by a few, IRA met by a few defenders at the rim. Didn't matter. He got the shot to go and a chance at a three-point play.
Yeah, he's been displaying his skill set at all three levels so far. He's taken a couple threes, made one. He's settled for some middies that he's hit. He's up to 8 points now, about to tack on another, hopefully at the line for himself. He's also been the best slasher on Colgate so far.
IRA, the sophomore, gets the three-point play to go. Completed three-point play. Colgate now with a 40-19 lead, 17:43 to go in this second half.
I believe the biggest deficit that Fordham has faced all season.
A long mountain to climb, a big mountain to climb for the Rams. Roricourt out of the left wing, trying to find a pass. He does. Abbas Bodija on the left block, backing down his defender. Floater in the middle of the lane goes. Abbas Bodija gets that one to go, and the Fordham Rams needed it.
Guy's been pretty quiet offensively for a couple games in this tournament. You got to get him going from the post. He's starting to. He just made his third bucket.
Cox now has it on the right wing to Sam Wright on the right wing, same spot. IRA receives it from Wright. Dribble handoff. Alternating wings. That's going to be an offensive foul. Alex Sinyanko had the ball, faked a dribble handoff, and it was a foul. That one was committed on Kingston Price, and Fordham's going to get the ball back. Stops and scores for the Rams.
Yep. That's the recipe for success. You try to get back into a game. He stuck his backside out. Kingston Price ran right into it on the curl off of the screen. Now Fordham a chance out of an inbound to get a good look.
Kingston Price gets it into the left block. Bodija sizing up his defender. Back out. Kingston Price straight on three. No good off front rim. A fight by Rika Schulte on the glass. Doesn't matter. It'll be Fordham ball. It'll be Colgate ball going the other way.
Fordham not really making an effort to crash the glass on that play either. So interesting to see if they want to change up that strategy. Maybe slow Colgate down. The defense has been exceptional when Colgate's been in the half court.
Cox, top of the arc. Right to left crossover. Gets to Alex Sinyanko. Right wing, no good on the three. Nice play there from the two. Offensive board by Wright, and he finishes it. Sam Wright out hustling the rest of the guys under the basket, getting that one to go.
25-18, the rebounding advantage for Colgate.
Day Reeves out in the left corner. Roricourt drives inside, puts up a floater that goes on the baseline. Roricourt with a big bucket for the Rams.
Another guy who can fill it up in a hurry. If you get him into a rhythm, he could be the spark plug.
Play inside. Alex Sinyanko has it on the right block, puts up a floater. That shot in and out. Rika Schulte fighting on the offensive glass, or the defensive glass, ends up being tied up. A jump ball. It'll stay on this side with Colgate. Fordham still nursing a 19-point deficit, 42-23, 16:02 to go in the second half.
The ball getting into the paint just effortlessly. Fordham consistently slow to get back, and then that means that even if you do get back and get a good contest on a two, everything's wide open in the offensive rebounding department.
Cox plays it in the right corner to Tweedy. Tweedy back out to Wright. Wright spinning on Rika Schulte. Gets him on the ground, but misses the shot. Day Reeves picks it up for Fordham. He's going to go the other way. Day Reeves settling at the left wing. Now alternating wings, driving inside on the right side of the lane, picks up the contact and the bucket, and one, Day Reeves. Fordham with the and one, and a big and one at that.
And the sign that the times are changing, Chris. The guy who had been so consistently your bailout option when you need a bucket most, when you need to get the momentum swinging in your favor, it's been Day Reeves. He's been quiet so far today, but here as Fordham starts to mount a mini run, it's Day Reeves who gives you that big jolt with the N1.
Fordham edging closer, 44-23, Colgate lead, 15:44 to go in this second half. We'll take a little break from Montreal, Quebec at Place Bell Arena. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey Devils fans, Tucker Austin here from WFUV Sports, one of your New Jersey Devils beat reporters for the 2025-26 season. From Hughes Brothers Havoc to Heischer hat tricks and Markstrom masterclasses, I'll have you covered live from the Prudential Center for all things Jersey hockey. Follow me on X at @Taustin_24, where I'll have live game updates, analysis, and post-game coverage all season long as the Black and Red look to bring Lord Stanley back to the Rock. WFUV Sports is your home for everything New Jersey Devils.
Colgate leads 42-25 over the Fordham Rams. 15:44 to go in this first half. Joe, it's been a bit of a tide turn for the Fordham Rams in the last couple minutes. They've played good basketball in comparison to their first half selves. That field goal percentage going up slightly now, 31%, 12 for 38 from the field. But that three-point percentage still low, 1 for 11 from the three-point line. That's good enough for 9%. But going into the break there, Joe, Fordham Rams getting 3 points the hard way. Day Reeves on the and one, and he continues to build momentum for his squad.
Yeah, 0 for 3 from 3 in the second half, 1 for 11 overall. When you can't get 3 that way, you attack inside where you have 2 really great slashers in Day Reeves and Chris Henry and get to the line, something you're so good at doing throughout the season, but just haven't been able to do so far tonight. That's how you've won these games in comfortable fashion. That's how you can get back in the game because the clock is stopped. It's 3 points, Chris.
Turnover battle has stagnated as well. Both these teams with 8 turnovers. Fordham Rams not doing as good of a job off the turnovers as Colgate. Colgate with 7 points off turnovers so far this afternoon. Day Reeves to complete the three-point play. He gets it to go from the free-throw line.
And full court press for the first time all game for Fordham.
Fordham now with an 18-point deficit. A double team from Roricourt, and Akira Jacobs gets the ball loose. Cox ends up picking it up and bringing it across half court for Colgate. Pass inside to right at the rim, blocked by Green. Marcus Green blocking the much larger right, and Sam Wright was shocked. Day Reeves on the right block, taking the contact, doesn't get that shot to go, but Ricky Schulte on the second chance, he gets that shot to go.
What a fantastic stretch for Fordham. The energy dialed up all the way, and even when the ball doesn't go in originally, you're there on the offensive glass. That's where you win this game. That's where they haven't so far.
And just like that, Joe, it's a 14-point lead. 42-28, 15 minutes left to go in this second half. Right wing three is good. The big man, Sam Wright, from Hoover, Albuquerque, getting that one to go and stopping the bleeding for the Raiders.
Guy who was 7 for 29 from 3 entering the game. It's a backbreaker.
Day moving slowly, top of the key, going right around a Jacobs screen. Jacobs now has it, top of the arc, into Schulte. Beautiful pass. Schulte loses it, but he's fouled, and that'll be a shooting foul. Schulte will go to the line for 2.
You hear the coaching staff saying, pass the ball. Schulte gets the catch with one arm. It was a fantastic catch on a missile inside from Jacobs, but then he keeps the ball low. He has guys hunting it down. If he keeps that ball up, he has the chance to go up with it where he's facing the basket, or he can kick out where Day Reeves was wide open on the left wing.
Ricky Schulte going to the line. Big 2 free throws for the Rams. Kira Jacobs, great find on the pass to Schulte on that play. First free throw is good for Schulte.
He's improving in a variety of ways, and that includes his playmaking ability. We've seen it from both Jacobs and Schulte. Having your front court involved in the playmaking, Schulte's got 10 assists in his past 3 games. His previous career was 3, and he's had 3, 4, and 3 so far in the tournament.
Kira Jacobs rocking the Nike Book 1s in an all-purple colorway as the second free throw for Schulte goes. Kira Jacobs rocking a Phoenix Sun colorway of the Devin Booker signature shoe. We may or may not have had some impulse on that. Nonetheless, long pass down the court. Kicked out. Cummings tried to gather it. Kira Jacobs ends up fighting it away from him, and it's going to be a foul, I believe, on Roricourt on the floor.
Yeah, but you love the energy. Tried to go for a loose ball, swatted down on the guy as he was double-teamed in the post. It's a great thought, just wasn't able to execute.
It's going to be Day Reeves, the marquee player for this Fordham team, subbing out. It's in favor of Christian Henry. Off the inbound, under the basket, Carlissimo has it on the left baseline. Guarded by Henry. Moves out to the left elbow. Back out. Cummings resets the offense slightly. That'll be a foul on the floor once again. That one's going to go on Rikus Schulte. The foul is starting to pile up for the Rams.
A little bit. That's something to be concerned about. Fordham really is one of the more disciplined teams in the country. They don't commit a lot of fouls at all. Schulte, particularly for a center, he only commits 3.3 fouls per 40 minutes. That's very low, specifically for a big man who's involved down low so often. You do have fouls to give, but now you have to start getting careful.
Going to be Cox deep on the right wing. Playing it up top for Cummings. Cummings has it top of the arc. Guarded by the much bigger Roricourt. Backing him down, trying to use his size. Back out, wide open three. That one no good. Odetta Yimbo, no good on the three.
Yeah, he's not a shooter, so they're happy with that.
Fordham Rams have it. 14 minutes left in this first half, or in this second half. 40-30 deficit for the Rams. Kira Jacobs has it in the right wing, drives inside on the left snatch at the rim, gets the shot to go, plus the foul. Fordham once again getting through the hard way, and the momentum for the Rams has continued. It's now 45-32, 13:49 to go in this second half.
That equals the deficit to open up the second half. It swelled up to 21. You've got it all the way back down to 13, a chance to add one more. That's the kind of aggressiveness and confidence that we want to see from Akira Jacobs, a guy who can do so much as a 6'11 big to put the ball on the floor and get inside. It's been everything but the finish, too much for him, but this time he seeks out contact, soft touch off the glass, and a chance to add on one more.
Akira Jacobs shrugging his shoulders at the referee. Referee bounced past him the ball at the free throw line without him looking. Might have thrown off his rhythm, nonetheless gets the free throw to go. Akira Jacobs looks a little shaken up after that play, but looked equally as amped up after that play as well.
Absolutely, he's grimacing right now, but that's the kind of energy that you need from Akira Jacobs, the kind of intensity on both ends of the floor. It looks like it might be something with his left leg.
After the free throw, Fordham trailing by 12, 45-33, 13:42 to go in this second half. Cummings working out of the right wing for Colgate. The Raiders need a bucket. Cummings going left around to screen, back on the right wing. Cox driving on Green, spinning in the paint, putting up a right-handed floater and getting it to go.
Oh.
That was smooth offense from Jalen Cox.
That was pretty. Driving to his non-dominant side in the left hand, spinning at the nail, and then leaning in for a floater. He made that look really easy, Chris.
Colgate back out to a 14-point lead, 13-14 to go in this second half. Marcus Green wants it in the right post. Henry takes it instead. Through the right side of the lane, back out to Green. He'll take a three. It's good! Marcus Green on the kick out from Christian Henry gets the triple to go, and Fordham's now within 11, Joe.
Marcus Green, time and time again this tournament, has been the guy to hit the shot when you need it and to spark a run. He's done that here.
Defensive chance, breakout on the Fordham bench. Wright has it on the right wing, gives it to Cox. Cox guarded by Green, left to right crossover, drives baseline. Kira Jacobs a little shaken up on that play. It's going to be a foul on the floor. And Akira Jacobs animated after that play.
And it's the right leg for Jacobs that he's favoring. Hard to say exactly what it might be. It looks like maybe a knee issue. He's not grabbing at anything right now, but he is limping after pretty much every play. He's wincing as he walks. See if they try and exploit that. He's matched up against Sam Wright.
It's going to be Jalen Cox on the right side of the baseline, inbounding this one under the basket. Pass in the left corner, intercepted by Roricourt. Ends up going out of bounds, but a good effort from the true freshman nonetheless.
Jacobs should come out of this game. Schultz needs to get back on it. I know he hasn't rested a lot today, but Jacobs is hobbling against Wright, who's trying to expose him by going inside.
Yeah, the Hawaii transfer really struggling. Carlissimo gets it on the inbound. Kick out on the right wing is inerrant. A miscommunication between Carlissimo and Cummings. That's going to be another turnover for Colgate. All things going right for the Fordham Rams right now.
Colgate feeling the pressure a little bit. Up to 10 turnovers now, making 9.
11-point game. 11-point deficit for the Rams with the ball. 12:35 to go in this one. Henry walking the ball up slowly, dribbling slowly. At the top of the key. On the right wing to Green. He'll take a three. It's good! Marcus Green on the catch and fire, and he has Fordham back within single digits. It's an 8-point game, 47-39, 12:20 to go in the second half.
And this bench hasn't been more animated all season. They are up and going.
That one's going to be out of bounds, tipped away by Roricourt. He'll stay on this side with Colgate. Coach Highland and a student assistant checking the computer to see if that's reviewable. It's not. Cummings has it deep on the right wing. Guarded by Roricourt. Plays it to Carlissimo. Carlissimo, top of the arc, driving right to the right side of the lane. Step back mid-ranger, gets it to go. Carlissimo with a tough shot over a much larger Akira Jacobs.
All the buckets that Colgate has gotten in the past 5 minutes have not been good looks. You live with those plays, absolutely, if you're Fordham.
Roricourt driving inside, contested heavily. It'll be a foul at the rim. It was actually Abbas Bodija. The coaches blocking us in front of us. Nonetheless, a Fordham Ram going to the line, down 10.
How about the aggression from Abbas Bodija, who really struggled on Friday, didn't look much better on Saturday, was maybe one of the only dull spots along with Louis Lesmond, who, by the way, still hasn't checked into the second half. That means Fordham's playing, again, with an 8-man rotation, subbing in Kingston Price, but so thin is Fordham to be making this rally the way that they are.
And we're going to send it back to the Bronx, Joe. 49-39, Rams trail by 10. They have fired back here in the second half, gotten this one close. 11:49 to go from Montreal. We're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for another scoreboard update from Travis Hayden. Take it away, Travis.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Thank you, Chris. This upcoming Saturday will be the last time the UFC airs on ESPN on pay-per-view. And we have a big one, as on the prelims, Jalen Turner is coming out of retirement to fight lightweight legend Edson Barbosa, in which should be a barn burner. And on the main card, we have the number 9 ranked light heavyweight in the world, Bogdan Guskov, taking on former champion Jan Blachowicz. Will Polish power be too much for Bogdan, or will he cement himself in the title picture? Peyton Talbot, bantamweight's top prospect, is back in action, taking on the former flyweight and bantamweight and Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo in a fight that should be big for the future of the bantamweight division. And in a title eliminator bout, Brandon Moreno takes on Tatsio Taria. And the winner of that fight will likely fight the winner of Alexandre Pantoja and Joshua Van for the flyweight championship. Pantoja is making his 5th defense of the flyweight title. And in the main event, Merab Dvalishvili is looking for history, as he is looking to become the first man to defend the UFC championship belt 4 times in a single calendar year, as he takes on Petr Yan in a rematch of their 2023 fight. I've been Travis Hayden with the one-on-one scoreboard update, sending it back to Chris and Joe.
Fordham Rams with an injection of life here in Montreal, Quebec. Chris Carrino joined by Joe Henry. 11:49 to go in this second half. 49-39, Colgate leads. This Colgate team had a 20-point lead at one point in this one. Fordham has stormed back in this last couple of minutes and played, Joe, some of their best ball of the season.
No doubt. 6 for your last 7 from the field, 3 of your last 4 if you want to trim it down more. And even though Jalen Cox and Josh Ira are getting theirs, Fordham looks brand new on the defensive end, getting a ton of deflections, even if they don't become steals, as Bodija hits on his first of 2. And as I mentioned it, getting to the free throw line, they've done that so much better in the second half. They've already taken 5. They only took 1 in the first 20 minutes.
And that field goal percentage slowly creeping up as Bodija makes the second. 2 for 2 clip for Abbas at the line. Big free throws for the Rams. Rams now out to a 37% field goal percentage. 49-41, 8-point deficit for the Rams. Right, beautiful pass inside. Cummings on the slam. Beautiful drive and beautiful slam from Cummings. Colgate needed that basket.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where Rory Corey's been everywhere defensively this half. Looks like a freshman because he is. He gets beat on the back cut early in the shot clock, just wasn't looking for it.
10-point deficit for the Rams. 11:20 to go in this one. Henry working out of the right corner, driving inside. Reverse layup with the right hand, finishing on the left of the basket. Fantastic play from Christian Henry. Green guarding Cox tightly. Cox splitting defenders, kicking it out to Carlissimo. That corner 3 is good. There's a proud father somewhere in this arena. Carlissimo with a massive 3, getting his Colgate Raiders back out to an 11-point lead.
And for the second time, Chris Henry got caught trying to look in for the steal. Left his man wide open on the closeout.
Boss Bodija has it at the left elbow. Dribble handoff to Green. Back up top, Christian Henry. Henry going to take on his defender one-on-one. Right to left crossover. Spinning in the paint, and an offensive foul push-off called on Christian Henry. Really can't have turnovers right now if you're the Fordham offense.
Well, shoulder shrug with the left shoulder. It's better than a live ball turnover, but still, you see the frustration mounting for Henry. Hands on his head. He badly needs to get right here so this game doesn't slip away again.
And the second half starting lineup going to go back out there for the Rams. Rika Schulte along with Day Reeves. They're going to head back into the game, and Marcus Green along with the boss Bodija subbing out. It's Cox taking it up for Colgate. Defensive chance breakout on the Fordham bench. It's an 11-point deficit, 10:30 to go in this second half. Wright has it on the left block, backing down Jacobs. Kick out Carlissimo, skip pass to Cummings. Cummings drives baseline, floater is good. Textbook offense there from the Raiders, and they're back out to a 13-point lead.
They chose the extra pass, had an open look on the right wing, chose to go to the corner, pump fake, got the guy who was scrambling, drove baseline, and hit the shot.
Reeves deep on the left wing, trying to get it to Marcus Green, couldn't. Now waiting for off-ball movement, top of the key on the logo. Day Reeves gets to Akira Jacobs, left wing, 11 seconds on the game clock. Day Reeves firing it inside to Schulte, off his hands and into the possession of Colgate. Cummings gets it to Carlissimo, back to Cummings. Cummings thought about shooting it, decided against it. Gets it to right wing. It's now Alexinyenko passing it left corner, Carlissimo. Can he get it again? He does! Kyle Carlissimo gets that one to go, and 2 big threes for Colgate, brought to you by Kyle Carlissimo.
Back up by 16, just like that. A 13-point deficit at the half. It swells to 21. You fight so much to get it back to single digits, and here we are again at square one.
Basketball coaching legend PJ Carlissimo in attendance here to watch his son really light it up for his team Colgate here down the stretch. A 16-point lead for Colgate now, Joe. And after all that work, all that effort for them put in, it has to be deflating. Looking up at the scoreboard and still being down as much as they are. 16-point deficit.
And no doubt. And part of what's been different about this run for Colgate versus when they were struggling when Fordham went on that run is that Colgate, even though they were hitting a couple shots on that Fordham push, they were bad shots. Those were contested step-back twos late in the shot clock. The ball movement wasn't quite there. But in this run from them, they're getting defensive rebounds or steals. They're pushing out in transition. And even though they're not getting all the way to the cup with their ball handlers, they're keeping Fordham in scramble mode. They're getting wide open kickouts. And that's why the threes are starting to fall. 9 for 21 for Colgate, 42% so far on the day.
Yeah, and that three-point percentage has gotten steadily better throughout this one. The Fordham Rams field goal percentage continues to climb up, now at 38%. They're 17 for 44 from the field. And aside from those Marcus Green threes, 2 of them that he had a few minutes ago, this Fordham team has only made 1 3 aside from that.
Yeah, Green has 2 in the second half. No one else on Fordham has a single 3 in the second half, and Chris Henry, the only guy to hit one in the first half. You need a couple if you want to trim down this deficit.
It's now Day Reeves. 9:30 to go in this second half. Fordham trailing 59-43. Marcus Green has it on the left wing. Will take a 3 off the dribble. No good off back iron. And Colgate will have it back going the other way. Of course, it's Cox. Cox fouled at midcourt by Marcus Green.
For Green, he's been hot, so you don't hate that shot, but that hasn't been his shot all year. Off of the dribble, trying to create space, step back. He's more of a catch and shoot, off the curl, moving 3 kind of guy. Just feels like it may be difficult to build a rhythm doing a kind of 3-point shot that you haven't done in a few games.
It's Cummings bringing it up for Colgate, guarded by the much bigger Roricore. On the left wing to Cox. Cox faking right, going left. Finding Alexinyenko, skip pass to Carlissimo, 1 more skip pass to Cummings in the corner. He drives into the rim and is absolutely rejected by Rieke Schulte. As much force as we've seen on a block all season long. My goodness.
He was sprinting down the lane to go and get that block. He was late on the help defense. Fordham was beat again, but he saves them there. All ball rejected into the stands.
That's a crime in some provinces in Canada, I believe. Colgate will have it on the inbound. Ends up throwing it away on the inbound. It'll go out of bounds, staying with the Rams. Coach Highland and company checking to see if that one's Fordham ball. It's not. IRA, top of the arc. Alexinyenko guarded by Jacobs. Passing it right wing to right. Snatched through to the right. Spinning left into the lane. No good on his floater. And Fordham has it once again. Fordham down 14, 8:41 to go in the second half. Day Reeves spinning on the right wing, driving toward the rim. He's fouled on the way to the rim, and that'll be a foul on the floor.
And that gets Fordham, I believe, into the bonus. No, they need 1 more to get into the bonus. So to get into the bonus pretty early here, 8:37 left to go, that's good, but Colgate also in the bonus.
And Christian Henry going to sub into this one for Roricore. Slightly smaller lineup now out there for the Rams. As Joe said, 1 more time inbounding it under the basket. On the right side of the baseline, Henry will try to throw this one in. Having some trouble, ends up getting it in. Akira Jacobs, right corner. Back up top to Day Reeves. Day Reeves trying to get through the right side of the lane. Back out to Jacobs. Jacobs to Marcus Green on the left wing. Cross wing to Day Reeves. Day Reeves bumping at the free throw line. Spinning, no good on his mid-ranger. Day Reeves doesn't get that one to go. The Fordham Rams still trailing by 16. 8:17 to go in the second half. Up top, right. Straight on 3, no good off right side of the rim, and Schulte is there on the defensive glass.
He got bailed out. He was wide open. He hit his last one, too.
Henry going right around a Schulte screen, now going left, spinning in the left side of the lane, and finishing it with a left-handed layup at the rim. Henry continuing to be smooth offensively.
Beautiful move. That needs to be the MO for Fordham's guards. Drive inside and get to the line.
14-point deficit for the Rams now. 7:49 to go in this second half. Cox, crossover right to left, kicks it out, left corner, right three, no good. Swirling around the rim, offensive rebound by Colgate. Kicked out. IRA stopping at the right block, kicking it back out to Cox, and Cox will reset the offense. And it's going to be a timeout on the floor. Both teams walking back to their respective benches. This Fordham team still in this one, but not for long. Fordham really needs to flip the script here and flip it fast.
Feels like every time that Fordham gets in the right mode of thinking, get to the rim, draw fouls, get into the double bonus here. You got into the bonus early. They compound that with a mistake on either side of the ball. Here, it's just being too sloppy on defense, being too late, leaving shooters wide open. I mean, they're lucky that Colgate has missed a few of its last threes. They're actually scoreless in their last 2 minutes and 5 seconds of play. They were shooting 43, now they're down to 39 from beyond the arc. But the looks they're getting, Chris, are wide open with shooters that like to shoot.
The efficiency for Colgate has been impressive so far. They lead 59-45, 7:32 to go in this second half. We'll take a little break from Montreal. You're listening to Fordham Men's Basketball on WFUV Sports. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Carrino.
And I'm Joe Henry.
Tune in weekly for NFL Friday, your exclusive WFUV sports podcast for all things National Football League.
We'll be covering everything on and off the gridiron for the biggest sports league in the world. Every week on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcast.
Can the Eagles repeat?
Will the Jets or Giants finally take a leap?
What's Shadur up to?
All of that and more on NFL Friday on WFUV Sports.
(59-45) Colgate Raider lead over the Fordham Rams. 7:32 to go in this one, and 7:32 to go in the Northern Classic here at Platesbell Arena in Montreal, Quebec, playing the final game of the tournament here. Just heard our NFL Friday promo. Listening to the things we were saying in that, Joe, whether it was the success of the Jets or Giants or the success of maybe the Eagles repeating, it seems like the Shadur shout might have actually been the most tangible for this Fordham season.
What is Shadur
for this football
up to
season
today? 26-8, lost to San Francisco, 16 for 25, 150 yards through the air, a touchdown, no interceptions.
It's good.
But only one carry on the ground, and of course, 18-point loss. That's what Shadur's up to today.
That's what Shadur's up to. Back to the Fordham Rams. Fordham Rams really need to get it together and get it together fast. As I said, 7.5 to go in this one, and still a large 14-point lead.
Starts with a stop. They've been at their best when setting their half-court defense. That's the situation here.
IRA cross-court pass. Alexienko moving across the paint and finishing with a right-handed floater. Seen that from Alexienko a few times tonight. Smooth from the freshman.
It's fantastic defense, too. Alexienko up to 14 now.
It's Christian Henry, top of the arc, going right around a Schulte screen, picking up two defenders. Back to Bodija. Bodija has it on the left wing, driving inside now through the paint. Right-handed floater goes as well. Both these teams trading right-handed floaters, and they were both beautiful, Joe.
Bodija's really gotten it going today. Guy who's been struggling a lot offensively. He's looked really in rhythm so far in the post.
Cox, top of the arc. They go left around an Alexienko screen. Gives it back to Alexienko. Pump fakes on the perimeter. Drives inside and is blocked by Rike Schulte. Another block inside from the German.
Not a guy known for his shot blocking above all else. He's really just a scorer on the post, rebound it, do a little playmaking kind of guy. He's only averaging 0.8 blocks on the season, but 2 in the past couple of minutes.
It's a little 14-point deficit for the Rams, 61-47, 6:39 to go in this one. Cox up top to Carlissimo. Carlissimo in the left corner. IRA, 3 seconds on the shot clock, backing down his defender. Fade away from the post, no good on the shot clock violation, but a foul on the ground after that. That one will be on Rike Schulte, not a foul. Fordham wanted to commit.
Yeah, that's an ugly one because he had the box out set. He was in front of his defender, but he just kind of fell down when trying to reach up for the rebound because it was over him and he just fell into Sam Wright.
Sam Wright going to go to the line for 2 now. Season high 22 versus Drexel this season, 3rd year with the program. As he misses that one on the 1-and-1. No good on the one-on-one. Christian Henry moving the other way quickly for the Rams. Henry going to go right around a Bodija screen. Now through the right side of the lane. Gives it to Bodija at the last second, and he finishes. Christian Henry feeding the hot hand, and the Fordham Rams back within 11 now, or back within 12 now. 61-49, 6 minutes to go in the second half.
Just the 9th assist of the game for Fordham on 20 made baskets, but Chris Henry has 6 of them.
What a night facilitating the ball from Henry. Played in the right corner, wide open Carlissimo. That three no good. Off the right side of the rim, Schulte is there on the defensive glass. Fordham going the other way. Henry stopping deep on the right wing. Slight stagnation from the Fordham offense. 18 and counting on the shot clock. 5:37 on the game clock. Henry still has it top of the key. Plays it to Day-Day. Day-Day back to Henry. Henry going to go right around a Schulte screen. Tried to find Schulte. Ends up giving it in the left corner anyway. Abbas Bodija, no good. Schulte there fighting on the glass, and he fights and gets it. Out of bounds. That one off Colgate. Fordham going to get the ball back.
With 1 second on the shot clock, Roarcourt checking in a guy who's maybe a lob threat, a quick catch and shoot three candidate in the corner. Abbas Bodija is not really a late shot clock 3-point candidate, and that was the result of that possession. It was an ugly one, just stagnant at the top of the key.
Fordham needs a few made buckets. 61-49, 11-point deficit, 5.5 to go in the second half. Lob play inefficient from Abbas Bodija. Tried to get it on a lob from the inbound. Ends up getting lost by the Rams. Colgate now has it. Cox playing it to his freshman, Alex Sinyenko. Facing up Roarcourt. Dribble handoff on the left wing. Carlissimo, left elbow jumper. No good off back iron. Another great look for Colgate, doesn't go.
Need a bucket here. Down 12, 5 minutes to play.
As Joe said, down 12, 5 minutes to play. Henry top of the arc. Passing it inside to a rolling Roarcourt who finishes with two hands at the rim. Fordham Rams back within 10, 51, or 61-51, 4:45 in the second half.
That's why he's in the game. He's an off-ball mover, is Roarcourt.
It's going to be Cox on the right wing, deep on the right wing, guarded by Henry. Gives it in the left corner. IRA takes the shot, no good on the close guard in Marcus Green, and now Fordham going the other way. A chance to make it single digits. Pump fake from the left wing. Roarcourt drives inside, no good on his right-handed reverse layup, and Colgate has it back.
He was wide open too. Everything but the finish.
Cox plays it to Alex Sinyenko, alternating wings to the left. Now gets it to IRA. IRA back up top to Cox. It's now right on the right wing, in the right corner to Carlissimo. A lot of passing from Colgate. Back to right wing pump fake. 4 seconds on the shot clock, puts up a floater, doesn't get it to go. What a defensive effort from the Rams. It continues on the ground. A fight for it on the glass. Multiple bodies from both teams on the hardwood, and we'll see which team has that one. It's going to be a jump ball going toward the Rams, I believe. Fantastic work from the Rams.
Look, it's poor offensive rebounding overall.
Yeah.
Or defensive rebounding, rather. But the end result is good, and that's because Roarcourt is scrapping on the interior for these boards.
Roarcourt scrapping for these boards. Didn't see him in a ton of action last night. Only saw him playing 8 minutes, played 20 minutes in the Franklin Pierce game, the first game in Montreal. And the big-time minutes he's gotten down the stretch here tonight, he's made the most of them.
Yeah, he absolutely has. And that's been the situation for Roarcourt all season long. Limited minutes, but when he gets a chance, he'll hit a big three. He'll move off the ball on offense. He'll give you length on defense and deflections. That's what we've seen today.
Deflections. We've seen turnovers from both sides. Both teams playing a relatively sloppy game offensively. Neither team really creating separation from the other. Fordham obviously having a less than productive game offensively. But as we've said all game, Joe, a 10-point deficit for the Rams. 4 minutes left. It's more than doable.
Yeah, what's your final punch going to be? Are you going to come out flat after the timeout? Or are you going to get a bucket? Marcus Green checked in the game. That's a catch-and-shoot three candidate. You've got your best players on the floor right now. You've got Green, Henry, and Reeves in the backcourt. You've got Schulte as your center, and you're keeping the freshman. And how about this, Roarcourt, in these huge minutes for Fordham, a test of their resolve. What do you have?
Yeah, those two Marcus Green threes so big. This Fordham team only 3 threes tonight. 2 of them come from Marcus Green. We're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios one more time for one more scoreboard update from Travis Hayden. Take it away, Travis.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
The one-on-one scoreboard update. Currently in the NBA, the Houston Rockets are currently blowing out the Utah Jazz 112-78 with a big performance by Kevin Durant. There is 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Later on today, we have a few slated games. The Hawks face the 76ers. The Hawks without Trae Young and VJ Edgecombe becoming one of the greatest rookies we've ever seen. Who will take that game? The Toronto Raptors and New York Knicks play in a game of top-seeded Eastern Conference teams. And the number one team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, play the Portland Trail Blazers. I've been Travis Hayden with the one-on-one scoreboard update, sending it back to you guys.
Back here in Montreal, taking you straight to the action. Akira Jacobs from straight on gets the 3 to go. Fordham offensive possession slightly stagnant, but Akira Jacobs bringing the fireworks here down the stretch.
Huge shot for a guy who has struggled today, and suddenly it's the closest it's been all half.
I was about to say, suddenly this is a 7-point game, 61-54, 3:15 to go in the second half. Pass inside to right pump faking, taking the shot, no good on the shot, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Good foul from Jacobs.
Yeah,
Again,
definitely.
Fordham so slow in rotation as the ball gets down low to the bigger right, but Jacobs screaming in. He makes a lot of contact, but that's fine. You'd rather this guy take 2 shots to the line than a wide open layup.
Sam Wright coming into this tournament, 75% from the line, 9 for 12 from the line. Has been a major contributor for this team so far this afternoon, makes the first. Raiders a lot different of a team without him out there, especially from a size perspective.
Yeah, he's been dominant, really. He only has 4 rebounds, but he's wreaked havoc on the interior. He's earned his team some extra possessions, and he's hit his shots, too.
No good on the second free throw. Akira Jacobs toughly fighting for it on the defensive glass. He has it. Christian Henry moving quickly the other way. At the right wing, driving from the right wing, putting up a shot on heavy contact and getting it to go. No foul called, but the bucket stands regardless, and the Fordham Rams now within 6. 62-56, 2:55 to go. The Fordham team is down 20, Joe.
I know we're far away from Brooklyn, but this is a public service announcement for Chris Henry late in this game. This is the blueprint, Chris.
Wow. Little Jay-Z reference. A loose ball from Cox on the offensive end for Colgate, out of bounds, and Christian Henry quickly calling for a review, and Coach Highland directly next to us, sprinting to the camera, to the computer. He's going to call no, saying that's not out on Fordham. Coach McPile, a little surprised there, but nonetheless, Colgate will have it out of bounds. It'll be Cox taking it out on the sideline. Gets it in, Alex Sinyanko. Deep on the right wing, hounded by Roricore. The 2 freshmen going at it. A foul called on Roricore. Out of this Fordham bench wants a review here.
Chris Henry is on the floor holding his right ear with his teammates around him. Mike McPile was asking for a review.
Yeah, the Fordham coaching staff wants a review, and that's what we'll get. Both teams going to their sideline. Christian Henry still on the ground, surrounded by his 4 teammates on the floor, now getting picked up by the Rams, and both teams will go to their huddle. A review for that foul on the far sideline.
He's been banged up a lot, and he's played 30 minutes so far today. I mean, he has been through the ringer, quite literally an ear ringer there. Not sure whose elbow caught him. If it was Roricore, then obviously this is a moot point. The foul on the floor was called against Core, which is a little odd when your teammate is the guy who goes down.
Right.
6-point game. I mean, this is a huge, huge call.
I mean, the sort of character and the sort of resolve this Fordham team has showed this afternoon, it's about as satisfying as the major win last night. This Fordham team seemed relatively dead in the water, especially at the start of this second half, the first 4 or 5 minutes or so of the second half, but they have stormed back here in this last 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, you can't fall flat at the finish line here, Fordham. You have to get through these last 2:36 playing your best brand of basketball. If you do that, you can be satisfied with the result.
And we'll see what the call is on the review. I believe it's going to be a foul on Colgate. It's going to be Alex Sinyanko at the line for 2. Andrew Alex Sinyanko, the only freshman who has gotten more than 10 minutes so far for the Colgate Raiders.
Yeah, double bonus for Colgate, so 2 no matter what.
Yeah, 2 no matter what. Alex Sinyanko taking big free throws right now at the line for the Raiders. 2:36 to go in this second half. Fordham trailing 62-56.
I think it is a 1-and-1. My apologies. Double bonus next time.
Yeah, 1-and-1 there. Makes the first, so he'll get 2 regardless. And big free throw there from Alex Sinyanko, the freshman.
Freshman, 15 points, 6 of 11 shooting, 2 of 5 from deep, and 8 rebounds, tied for the lead among everyone playing in this game.
Averages the second amount of points on this team aside from Jalen Cox. Cox averages 17. Alex Yanko averages 15. Good on the second as well. 2 big free throws for the Raiders. Raiders up 8 now. 2:30 to go in this second half. Be Christian Henry, top of the arc. Pump faking, now finding himself at the left wing. Going right around in Kira Jacobs' screen. Back to Jacobs. Dribble handoff back to Henry. Henry snatching left, going through the left side of the lane, kicking it back out to Akira Jacobs. That three no good. Day Reeves jumping about 10 feet in the air to try to corral that offensive rebound. It's out of bounds. It'll go back to Colgate.
And that's great fight on the offensive glass from Day Reeves, swatting it towards the scorer's table. Marcus Green not able to save it. 2:13 for Fordham. It starts with a stop. Can you get out in transition here off of a missed shot or a turnover and get a quick score too?
It's going to be the true freshman workhorse subbing out of this one for the much more experienced Rikas Schulte. Will be Cox, top of the arc. Marquee player for this Raider team, guarded by Christian Henry. Henry awaiting a screen to the left. He gets one. Out to the screener. Alex Yanko in the right corner. That three, no good from IRA. A fight on the defensive glass. And that'll stay here with Colgate. Day Reeves being out of bounds.
And again, Fordham is so late in rotation on these wing threes that even off of misses, they're not able to get rebounds when there's only one guy in the paint for Colgate. They don't have anyone crashing because everyone's too busy trying to find their man.
Just a shade under 2 minutes. 1:57 to go in this second half. 64-56 Colgate lead. IRA poking it away at midcourt. Schulte going in the backcourt to try and get it. He doesn't. IRA now has it through the front court, going to the rim, finishing under heavy contact from Akira Jacobs. That might have been the nail in the coffin for this Fordham team. 66-56, 10-point deficit, 1:30 to go. Christian Henry dicing through the lane, no good on his left-handed layup. That's going to go the other way in favor of the Raiders. Once again, Coach Island checking that one on the review.
And that does feel like the dagger. Fordham going back into the full court press, had a little success with it in the first half. Haven't shown it much, you have to imagine it's because of the fatigue. You need a stop here if you want to stay alive.
66-56, Fordham with a 10-point deficit, 1:32 to go. Oracor going to sub in for the Rams. It'll be Marcus Green subbing out for him. A bigger lineup now for the Rams defensively. Be a pass from the inbound to Cox. Cox in the backcourt, breaks the press. IRA, the one to get across half court, now in the front court. Cox has it top of the arc. He'll hold the ball on his side and wait this one out a little bit. 18 on the shot clock, 1:18 on the game clock. Cross-court pass. IRA shaking left, going right, driving through the left side of the lane, absorbing contact and finishing at the rim on the left side of the rim. Fantastic play there from IRA, and this Colgate team in the last 2 possessions has maybe permanently separated themselves.
As good as the defense has been from Fordham overall today, so much times it's been good defense, better offense.
Schulte straight on three, no good. Day Reeves athletically jumping out of the sky to pick that one up and get the putback. Day Reeves on the putback gets his team back within 10.
Mike Backpile calls him a winner. He says the only guy who really has that winning pedigree with this program, and he's showing it. He's fighting until the last seconds. A tip out that didn't go your way, and then an offensive rebound putback, and he's skying through the lane like he's Roar Core there. But he's Day Reeves, this guy's 6'1".
Yeah, absolutely. The Fordham Rams still chugging away, still with a 10-point deficit, 52.1 to go in this second half. We'll take a little break. From Montreal, Quebec, you're listening to Fordham Men's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, it's Lydia Perner.
And Grace McCarran.
And we are 2 of your hosts for 5 on 3.
WFUV's best, if only, hockey podcast.
With all the storylines in the tri-state area, you won't want to miss an episode.
How will Matthew Schaefer fit in with the Islanders?
And will the Rangers have a bounce-back season under Mike Sullivan?
Finally, will the Devils be able to stay healthy and hit their full potential?
Stick with us all season for all things NHL and Will Cooley updates on WFUV Sports.
52.1 on the game clock here. 68-58 Colgate Raiders lead over the Fordham Rams from the culmination of the Northern Classic. Chris Carrino joined by my partner, Joe Henry. Fordham Rams rocking their maroon away uniforms for the first time on this trip. They're going to go left to right. The Colgate Raiders going right to left. They're in their home white uniforms or red accents. Joe?
Fordham looking for one more bucket here to stay alive.
Yeah.
first applying the full court press, trying to get a stop.
Now Colgate's going to have it in the backcourt, a full court press, as Joe said. They're going to have a little trouble getting this out, and it's a loose ball. Alex Sinyenko on the ground to try and get that one. And I'm not sure if that was a jump ball or a timeout, Joe.
Chris Henry's down on the floor holding his head again.
We
should mention, Chris, our vantage point, we are right behind the Fordham bench,
Yeah.
so we cannot see at all when the ball is on the top of the key.
And Christian Henry continuing to be banged up. Seems like he's having extra trouble getting off the floor. Kingston Price now sprinting over to the scores table. He'll sub in for the hurt Christian Henry. 46.5 on the game clock here. Still 68-58.
Yeah, a little UMass triple overtime vibes. Kingston Price coming into this game in crunch time. Never played a game in crunch time before.
Christian Henry grimacing in pain outside of the Fordham huddle. Seems like he's in a real amount of pain. And this Fordham team maybe's ran out of time on this game clock. It's going to be Colgate once again inbounding it in the backcourt. It'll be Carlissimo to inbound it in the backcourt. PJ Carlissimo get angry with his son if he turns over the ball here. Gets it into Cox. Gets it back to Carlissimo. Alex Janko will walk it across half court. IRA had it in the left corner, fouled immediately by a double team of Kingston Price and Day Reeves.
Yep. There we are, free throw game. All Colgate needs to do is hit one or two, and this is officially over.
Yeah, still with a 10-point lead for Colgate, 68-58, 40.4 on the game clock. That's in seconds, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Nairi 2 for 2 with the line already, coming off of his best career game. This is a guy that you'd want at the line.
Averaging 5 points per game, 3 rebounds per game. The Canada native, Alberta native, playing not too far away from home today. IRA on the first free throw, it's good, absolutely pure from IRA.
And this is where Fordham, who's been so good at not committing too many fouls early in halves, has it come back to bite them. Colgate in the double bonus for so long here.
IRA on his second of the trip, gets it to go 2 of 2 at the line for IRA, Josh IRA. Now a 70-58, 12-point deficit for the Rams, 40.4 on the clock. They're going to have to inbound it here in the backcourt. Still a full court press from Colgate. Up 12 with 30 seconds left. Interesting choice there. Nonetheless, Day Reeves whistling through the left side of the lane and finishing at the rim. Past at least 3 to 4 Colgate defenders there. Didn't matter.
They've got the trap applied. It's loose.
And it's stolen by Rora Kaur. Tried to get it into Day Reeves inside. Rikas Schulte ends up being the one there to finish. It's now a 10-point deficit, an 8-point deficit. 70-62, 23 seconds left. This Ram team not losing hope. Full court press tenaciously from Magpio's team. Gets up ahead to Cox to right all alone, who will finish with the right hand with a layup. 15 seconds left. A 10-point deficit for the Rams. I think it's about over. Turnover there on the inbound for the Rams. That will just about do it.
It's a game you can be proud of because of the fight in the second half. It's a game you can't be satisfied with because of the way that it ended, because of the way that with 2:35 left to go in a 6-point game, you're not able to get over the hump. You just needed one more stop. And then look, and just time and time again, Fordham so late defensively, allowing these wide open looks for Colgate.
It's going to be inbounded under the basket for Colgate. Colgate, I don't think is going to try and score here, but simply dribble it out. Jalen Cox will do that at the top of the key. And the Fordham Rams end up losing their third and final game here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Perfect before that, and finishing their trip with a 2-1 record, a 62 loss, 10-point loss to the Colgate Raiders here on the third game of the Northern Classic. Joe, a decent effort, especially in the second half for the Rams. They just were playing too much against the clock here.
No doubt. Against the clock after a really ugly first half where you somehow stay within 15, but the offense, 17 points and a half. You compound that with 45 in the second half, that's great, but the defense falters a lot in the second half where they've been so good in the half court. They're getting lost, they're getting late in rotation, and Colgate able to pull away.
Colgate pulls away an inspiring and an impressive win for the Patriot League side, a 72-62 win over the Fordham Rams. That about does it from us from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Of course, want to thank my partner, Joe Henry. Had an absolute ball this weekend with him over the Thanksgiving break. Want to thank, of course, Bobby Chaffardini as well, our head, and just in general, a fantastic weekend for us. Maybe not how we wanted it to end, but nonetheless, a really great and inspiring experience for not just me, but for Joe Henry as well.
Absolutely, it was a fun trip. It was a tough, bitter way to end. It was an early morning wake-up on Thursday. It was a game that was not supposed to be as close as it was on Friday. It was the most satisfying victory of the year on Saturday, and it finishes up with an effort. Come up short, but I think overall for Fordham, the best takeaway is that this team is significantly undermanned. In every position group, they only have 2 healthy wings. Their backup point guard and Ryan Pettis is out. Their starting big man and Jack Whitborn, I would say their best front court guy, as good as Rika Schulte has been out all season. Tariq Nutter hasn't shown up in the past 2 weeks, didn't make the trip this week. You can't be too upset given that this is the 3rd game in 72 hours. You had the most adversity imaginable against a non-D1 team on Friday. You had the highest of highs on Saturday, and in a chance to clinch history. It would have been the first time that Fordham won a multi-team event at a neutral site since 1987. Comes up just short, but I think overall, you can be pretty happy about the fight that you showed in the last 20 minutes.
Fordham comes up short in their 3rd and final game in the Northern Classic from Place Bell Arena in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. They lose to the Colgate Raiders 72-62. As we said, once again, a fantastic weekend, and a thank you to everyone who makes this possible. Once again, a thank you to our sports information director, Joe DeBerry. This Fordham team gets a little break after this. They're not back in action until next Saturday, a 6-day break for this Fordham team. They're going to play fellow Patriot League opponent Holy Cross. That one is at 2 p.m. at home on December 6th, Saturday. For us, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Chris Carrino, Joe Henry, want to thank you for listening, and we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios one more time for a post-game show. That one is with Sam Giangrande and Travis Hayden. Take it away, Sam and Travis.
The one-on-one post-game report.
We are at the end of the line here in New York City, and I'm not talking about the Traveling Wilburys song. Welcome to the one-on-one post-game report. I'm Sam Giangrande, back again with Travis Hayden. Before we talk about the final result, Travis, tell us what's going on in the world of sports and their scores from one last time.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
And we have the 4 o'clock game window in the NFL, as the Seattle Seahawks are up 13-0 at halftime against the Minnesota Vikings. Jackson Smith-Njigba has had 75-plus receiving yards in every single game this year, and going into halftime, he doesn't have a catch. The Bills and the Steelers are currently playing right now in a game that is very important for AFC playoff positioning. The Steelers have Aaron Rodgers back at the helm and are currently up 7-0 with 4:20 remaining in the second. And the Raiders are taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are up 7-0 at the 2-minute warning. Broncos and Commanders play tonight at Sunday Night Football, and our beloved New York Giants take on the New England Patriots tomorrow on Monday Night Football. I'm Travis Hayden, and this has been the one-on-one scoreboard update.
Thank you for that, Travis. Unfortunately, the 3rd and final game of this Northern Classic ends with a Fordham loss, 62-72 Colgate. But if we look at the stats, really, Fordham put up a good second half, having 60% in the field. They did a lot better in the second half compared to their game yesterday, but they just could not have done good in the first half. Travis, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it seemed like it was a first half that it was tough to come back from being down 13. It was an uphill battle from the start. Obviously, they turned it around in the second half. They outscored them 45-42 in the second half. Very impressive second half for Fordham, especially after only putting up 17 in the first. But it was kind of the opposite. The defense didn't play as well. They mostly focused on offense. But they did end up almost coming back and making it a 10-point game. When you look at they went to the line more in the second half. They went 0 for 1 in the first half, and in the second half they were 6 for 6, finishing the game 6 for 7. 6-7 on free throws. Had to get that in there. I'm sorry. But yeah, the 86% free throw percentage, that's something you want to see. And again, these tournaments can really be, or these classics, where you're playing multiple games in a couple days span. You're going to neutral site arenas. You're going to another country on a holiday weekend. It can be tough, and sometimes it's just tough to close out. But as Carrino said, we have a week to almost a week to get ready for their next game against, was it Holy Cross?
Holy Cross.
Yeah, against Holy Cross. And I think if you look at this, it's like, okay, we didn't get the win today, but against a very good Colgate team, we could say we competed.
It's not something you boast about, but it's something you look back on. You can definitely look back on this game and say, look, second half, They outscored Colgate. They did relatively well in the second half, but you look back and say, hey, this is what didn't work on the first half, and then you see what did work in the second half. You kind of have to merge it together with what you're going to do against Holy Cross. Fordham in the second half, defensively, were not as good, but offensively, they were. You kind of got to, if you see like a bar graph, you got to dial it down towards an equilibrium. You have it equal being in offense and defense instead of it just being you push for one side while the other starts to slack a little, which is what we saw a bit in the second half, where they really could have turned it around if they were able to equal out the offense and defense, but also that first half really put them behind and really set up the second half to be where they had to focus on one aspect of it. Travis, if you were Coach Magpie, what do you say to the team after this? You're in the locker room, you're facing a loss on the third and final day of this, away from home. What do you tell them?
What I would say is, well, we needed to, it looked like there was nothing we could have done better in the second half. We did everything we needed to do in the second half. Granted, make a couple of the shots, it's a little different. Obviously, the 3-point percentage was not that good today. We have to hit, if you want to win these games, we have to hit our threes. That's what I would say if I was Magpie. But I also think Fordham played an amazing second half in comparison to their first half. And you see this in fighting all the time, where a fighter will be down 2 rounds going into round 3, and they can't do it all. They'll win round 3, but it's because the other fighter will coast a little bit because they know they have the win coming. It's just a matter of starting better. And that's most of the time what it is. A lot of the times in sports and fighting and basketball, you have to start off better because you're not going to win the game in the last 5 minutes down by 10. You kind of are down by 13, 16. You have to cut that a little bit. You have to start cutting into it early on.
I agree, especially with basketball, and you can say the same with fighting. That those are sports where every single second matters. You can't just. I'm a soccer person. It's different with something like that where you can be bad for a decent amount of the game, but then come back a lot later on and then score lately to win. It's not something you can really do with basketball. You have to be consistent throughout the whole first half. In that first half, Fordham weren't doing that. They were not that consistent with getting the points in. Their field goal shots were not always landing, and that comes to bite you in the second half where even though they played very well, they just could not get back because they were not sure that consistency in the first half.
So one of my favorite broadcast calls of all time from any sport, it is a fighting sport. It is a fighting call, but it's when John Anik was talking about Leon Edwards right before he knocked out Kamaru Usman to win the welterweight championship. He said, Leon Edwards is not content with losing a decision. It is not the cloth from which he is cut. And Fordham was kind of the same way today. They didn't give up down 13 going into the next half. They actually cut it down to an 8. They were even down 16 at one point in this half. And they cut it down to single digits within the final couple minutes, which looked big at first, but it was a little too late to come back from in that case. What you saw from this Fordham team today is you saw heart. You saw that they aren't going to give up on a game just because they're down big going into a specific half. They're going to keep fighting. They're not going to put their tail between their legs and go back to the locker room and get ready to go back to come back to Rose Hill and get ready and leave Montreal. They're not ready for the plane ride. They came in and they fought that second half. And if I'm Magpie, I'm proud of my team for fighting and sticking in that second half, especially with how everything went in the first half.
I agree. The thing we talked about yesterday with Fordham, that unfortunately the loyalty to this team has been dying down with an easy transfer for portal to go wherever you want. The loyalty within this Fordham team has been going down, and I agree with that, where you have to show that heart. And if Magpie shows this team that they did play very well and they played to where they were showing that passion, that flame in them, they want to stay in this team. And hopefully when they play Holy Cross, they show exactly what they did in the second half. They can maybe even have a blow game where they show that loyalty, that heart and passion to that team. But I think this is a perfect place to end this one-on-one post-game show. I'm your host, Sam Grande, joined by Travis Hayden, who also did our updates, Grace McCarron and Leah Ranshaw behind the screens, and Abby Christopher Farrow being our engineer and making the graphics you see on WFUV's X and YouTube pages. Then, of course, Chris Carrino doing the play-by-play, and Joe Henry the color analysis. Then Bobby Ciaffardini as our sports manager. This was a production of WFUV Sports, and tune in to 90.7 for all your Fordham sports.